privilege of having among us Dr. Amitabh Nath, who is the professor and head of the Department of CSC, Central Institute of Technology, Kokrajhar, Assam, India. He has more than 70 research publications in the various international journal conference proceedings. His research interests include IoT, information security, machine learning. He is a senior member of IEEE and a fellow of IEI. Now, we shall move on to the felicitation program of our esteemed speaker. For this, I would like to request Dr. Devashish Sarkar, Principal SIMT, Department Chair, CSC and IT, to come up and do the honor. Along with the sir, I would also like to invite Professor Gautam Chakraborty, Professor Joyanto Banerjee, and Professor Ruby Sinha Mahapatro to come up on the dais and join the felicitation program. So now I would like to request Dr. Devashish Sarkar to speak some words.
Very good morning to one and all present here. Today's resource person, Amitabh Nath, he doesn't require any introduction because of his scholarly profile, along with his known to, I think, all of us, most of us. But I am taking this opportunity to extend our sincere thanks and regards. Since the first day of our MTP planning, we have submitted 2 proposals to AICTE and came to know that 100+ proposals from West Bengal had been submitted at that point of time, out of which only 6 were selected. Out of those 6 approved proposals in 2023-24 academic year, 1 grant was given to the local university, 2 were given to United Republic, those are the general category, and for the private institutions, in general category, we are the only college in West Bengal in this cycle who got this fund. Along with us, Dr. Kishirai in Engineering College and Uday Institute of Technology, they also got the grant, but in a special category. So while we were setting the theme of the event, while we were setting the orientation of the program, Professor Nath has helped us in each and every moment. So our sincere thanks and regards to him, not only for being the resource person for today's session, but also his support, his advice throughout the journey, and I'm sure he will provide such kind of support to us, and that right I have to hear from you. So without taking further time, I'd like to request Professor Nath to start his session.
So I would now like to request Dr. Amitabh sir to begin the session on the Internet of Things, IoT, and its role in Industry 4.0 and 5.0.
Am I audible? Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you. So, thank you, Devashish for that nice introduction. And I am really honored to be here with you. Thank you, Supreme Knowledge Foundation, to invite me to this platform. My topic is actually this topic Devashish has suggested to discuss on this topic of that Internet of Things and its role in Industry Industry 4.5. Though my research interest in the Internet of Things, but Industry 4.0 and 5.0 is not my research area. Because in Industry 4.1, 5.4, there are many new things like digital twin, AR, VR. So recently, I have received fund for one project on AR, VR. But that are not my core research area. My core research area mainly security, because I PhD in security. But after that, I shifted from security to Internet of Things security. Then machine learning, deep learning, because now we all know that machine learning and deep learning are means very important for everyone, because once upon a time that we can't means our day started with Google, but nowadays people are using ChatGPT, right? Google becomes obsolete almost. We start with ChatGPT. So obviously next decade, this decade and next decade, the main research area will be generative AI. That if possible, time permits, then I will also touch upon those parts. I don't know whether able to do that. Industry 4.0 and 5.0. Before that, first let's start from this. This is world first internet, right? That 1969. 4 universities are connected: University of Los Angeles, University of and other 2 institutes are connected by this project that ARPANET. ARPANET is known as the world's first internet. And this was this ARPANET project was basically run by that time American Defense Agency. So they first 4 universities are connected and they exchange data. Then that ARPANET, from that ARPANET, it becomes now. So now we are in the age of 5G, right? So but how that internet develops from 1980 to this 5G. Europe already starting using 6G. They are thinking about Europe, Japan. They are thinking about 7G and 8G. So that's different area. But the thing is that even before Geo, we can't imagine a mobile, right? After 2016, we are using Geo. Then basically, through mobile, we do everything. So we start internet. But before that, internet charge was too high. Means before Geo, I can still remember that 1 GB a month. But now 1.5 GB per day, Geo basically provides us. So and now we are using 5G. So due to this 5G, due to this internet connectivity, means many things are connected. So many things are connected means that our smartphone, our laptop, our smartwatches. So all the devices are connected. So these devices or these objects are known as things. So and here from this connectivity, the Internet of Things, this term was coined. Though this term was coined in 2002 by I forget the name of that person. So now the next thing is that even means when I just still I can remember when I passed 2005, I passed my intake in 2005. Then I started working on mobile computing. So but that time we use LS2 tool, network simulator tool, to simulate that some operations, and through that simulator we started working on mobile computing, mobile sensor network, mobile atomic network. Here it is there. So install that NS tool, and we started to work on that. It was very difficult to install in single laptop or machine. So even in 2010, 11 mobile computing, people are working. So that, but in last 10 years, 10 to 15 years, many things are happening. So number of devices are increases, and so we are in the age of Internet of Things. Okay. So as the number of devices are connected, the user interface becomes smaller. Now through our smartwatch, we can receive our phone call, we can even do so many things. Those who are diabetic patients, they basically measures how many steps today. So everything can be measured by our smartwatch also. So that means the data amount increases because of number of devices are increases, but at the same time the user interface becomes smaller. This is one of the reasons that means AI or artificial intelligence, demand for AI or artificial intelligence, and as means a number of things are connected, so data generated, the amount of data generated is used, and that is known as the structured and unstructured data, not in the form of structure. Unstructured form of data also generated, and that data is known as big data. So handling big data is itself a challenge. Now, this is this graph. Though this graph is a bit older, that in 2003, number of the population was around 6.3 billion, right? World population. I'm talking about world population. So 6.3 billion. But number of connected devices that time, it's only 0.5 billion. And means the number of connected devices per person, it was 0.08 billion. I mean 0.08 that ratio was. This source is Cisco Internet Business Solution. You can Google it. So I can take it from this source. But in 2010, the number of connected devices more than number of population, 6.8 was the population, but number of connected devices 12.5. And now, during COVID period, that 2020, the number of connected devices is more than 50 billion. And it is expected that by 2025, the number of connected devices will be means 100 billion. So connected devices means that smartwatch, smartphone, electronic device now means on an average with 6 to 7 devices are connected per person. Okay, so due to this huge change of number of connected devices, due to this that there are many issues. Number one is huge amount of data generated, so we have to handle those data, and number two is security issues, security and privacy issues that I will discuss in the next. Right. So here, probably you are familiar with this diagram because other speakers also explain this. I am not going to explain this thing, but just I want to the first generation or industry 1.0 that was completely maintained by mechanical energy, mechanical instruments, mechanization, industry 1.0. So from industry 1.0 to 2.0, almost 100 years means this for this transformation that 100 years. From 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 40 years only. Though this is given that 2020 was the first industry 5.0 developed, but the term actually raised by European Commission in 2021. That industry 5.0 European Commission, they basically use that term industry 5.0. What is the basic difference between industry 4.0 and 5.0? Actually, industry 3.0 that computer and electronic devices are used. Okay, because in 1970 and after that, we know that computer and electronic devices using like TV, phone, and all those things. They are basically used that time. After that, from 2000 to 2010, 2011, 12, that all things started digitalization. So basically, industry 4.0 is digitalization. But industry main difference between 4.0 and 5.0 is that human computer interaction, more human computer interaction. There means obviously automation is there, automation is there, but here that automation is totally based on human computer interaction. We will also discuss that collaborative robot. Means we know that robot can work without any human means interference. But industry 5.0, that collaborative robot, there human and that robot, they will work together. So this is basically the difference between industry 4.0 and 5.0. In 4.0, that use of AI and machine learning was less. Only developer concentrate on focus on digitization part. Okay, so means all offices, schools, and other words, they are basically become digitized, right? So, but industry 5.0, along with that digitization, AI use of due to the use of AI and machine learning, that digitization is converted from robotics and means human computer interaction. This is industry 4.0, then I will explain industry 5.0. So in industry 4.0, basically three, we can say for industry 4.0, there are mainly three needs. One is AI, another is IoT, Internet of Things, and third one is big data. So what happened that AI means that we all know that to mimic a human brain. Machine learning is a subset of AI. I will explain this in the separate slide. Machine learning is divided into four types, like supervised, supervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement. That big data means it's basically based on 3V. Big data: volume, variety, and velocity. This big data means totally a huge amount of data generated. That data may be structured, may be unstructured, but that data, storing that data, accessing that data, that is an important issue. Accessing that, after accessing, analyzing that data is also important. Data analytics, that is known as data analytics part. So that are the component of that big data. Internet of Things means we know that lots of sensors are connected, sensors and smart devices are connected, things are connected. But at the same time, along with the connectivity, storage is an important issue. So that's why cloud is used. But third-party cloud, it has some security and privacy issues. So that's why then edge computing comes. So we'll also discuss that edge computing and its security part. Later, I'll discuss those part also. So now, we all know that ICT means information and communication technology, right? No. Now, that definition has been changed. Intelligence and connectivity technology. Intelligence and connectivity technology. Previously it was ICT means we all know that information communication technology, but now it's changed from that intelligence and connectivity technology. Why intelligence and connectivity technology? Because in industry 5.0, that means AI and machine learning are used in every stage. One of the products of industry 5.0 is ChatGPT. I don't know how many of you use ChatGPT, but it's really helped me a lot in every sector. Means every day, every moment. Whenever I face some problem, I can use ChatGPT. Okay, obviously Google Bard is also coming, and I don't know what will come next. I just a few days back I saw one interview of Sundar Pichai. So in that interview, told that they want to integrate one feature in Gmail. That if you enable that feature, that auto reply means Gmail will basically read your mail, and it will automatically generate a reply mail on behalf of you. And if you enable that feature, that means that auto reply is sent to the that sender, it will be sent. So no, we don't have to write it much. We don't have to think much and what reply we will give. And there will be so many options. Means you can choose this option. Means one reply option, two reply option. This thing will be means integrated. These options will also be integrated in that. So this is one part. And generative AI, obviously now we all are familiar that term deepfake, right? So many fake features are generated. Recently, probably yesterday, there was a news that Facebook can easily identify those who use AI generated profile picture. Facebook can easily identify that. So this means next coming 5-6 years, people will be completely busy with generative AI. Generative AI is means AI is obsolete, becoming obsolete, going to become obsolete. Now, the next 5-6 years, people will work on generative AI. So anyway, CPS means cyber physical system. Cyber physical system means that we are working with the industry 4.0. They basically used that whole digitization process, right? All physical things they are basically digitized. So that is the cyber physical system. But industry 5.0 it says that cyber physical social system. In Japan, they are already started using this term society 5.0. They are not using industry 5.0. They are using society 5.0. Okay, so cyber physical system. This is also that term also changed from cyber physical system to cyber physical social system. So industry 4.0, that was industrial automation. Now knowledge automation. It's completely transferred from knowledge automation using that generative AI. Now this is the basically industry 5.0. In industry 4.0, we have seen that there are basically three components, right? In the AI, then IoT, and big data. But here there are many components. Now it's not Internet of Things. That is Internet of everything. Everything means that human, along with that things, human, process, data, all are connected. All are interconnected. So industry, Internet of everything means all that thing means along with that things means smart devices and sensors, that human, process, all are connected. Okay. So then obviously AI, big data, Internet of things that are there, but along with that, the one new that cobots means collaborative robot. Means that is one of the upcoming research area, collaborative robot. Then blockchain is also there, digital twins is also there, and edge computing, 6G and beyond. So all these are the research area on this industry 5.0. Now, first we will learn. First we will discuss that artificial intelligence. We all know that artificial intelligence means it basically mimics our human brain. Okay, so basically this is the classification of AI. So some example of artificial intelligence are expert system, rule engine. Machine learning is the ability to learn without explicitly being programmed. It is basically 4 types: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. And deep learning, it is a subset of machine learning. So subset of AI means machine learning is a subset of AI, and deep learning is the subset of machine learning. Now, first, that Alan Turing, we all know Alan Turing, that obviously Charles Babbage is the father of computer, right? But I always define that Alan Turing as father of algorithm. Turing machine. Without Turing machine, even that Turing multi problem is still unsolved. Right? So Alan Turing basically first proposed means during 1950 that time, he basically used that term. That machine learning is an application of AI, computer and machines learn from the past experience and make future prediction. The performance of such system should be at least human level. Now I will explain machine learning. Probably all of you know machine learning, right? You know formal definition. You know this how to use machine learning. But I try to explain it in different ways. What is traditional learning or traditional programming? Traditional programming is some rule will be given, data will be given, answer will be means based on that rule. Say for example, Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series, what is Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series means 0, 1, 1, 2, then 3, then 5, then 8 in this way, right? So Fibonacci series is basically the present number, suppose fifth number, it is basically the summation of third and fourth number. That is the formula, right? Fn equals to Fn minus 1 plus Fn minus 1. So in traditional programming, we have to set that rule, that means F5 equals to F4 plus F3. Then if, or Fn equals to, sorry, the formula is Fn equals to Fn minus 1 plus Fn minus 2. If I say that n equals to 5, then the fifth number will be generated. That is the is that the answer. Machine learning is a little bit different from here. What is machine learning? Machine learning is answer will be given, data will be given, we have to generate the pattern. What is that? That means, let me explain with another example. This is traditional programming. That y equals to 2x minus 1. What is this? Y equals to 2x minus 1. This it will generate all odd numbers, right? Yes. So when we give, we want to know the 10th odd number, they existed. So 10th odd number is 19. 19 is generated, right? Here, we will not give this formula. We will generate the formula. This formula is known as pattern. Through data, we will generate that formula. Means we have some input, we have some output, and we will try to generate that formula. Means from this previous data, we will learn the experience. Clear? So that means, say for example, for minus 1, for minus 3, when this we want to generate a third odd number, so it's minus 1. For minus 1, it's 0. We know that 0 is not an odd. It is 0. Then 1, if we the input is 1, then it is 1. If input is 3, then it is 12 in this way. And if we apply machine learning algorithm, I have checked this with I have checked with Python programming. So it's approximately 2x minus 1. Approximately is, suppose if I gave x equals to 10, just like that, it is 18 point something, 18 point say 5. Obviously, because there is an error, it should be 18.9. So it is 19. So 0.5 is the error. Yes. The means good machine learning will reduce that error. Will reduce that error. Means if you feed more data, then that error will be reduced. If you feed more data for this case, then error will be reduced. Here we have only we have 6 data. So I have checked this using a normal machine learning algorithm. Okay. So machine learning means in traditional learning the input the formula is given, input is given, it will generate the output. But in machine learning, the formula that we have to generate, that pattern, formula is here the pattern. Pattern we have to derive from that input data. Okay. So here I will define the machine learning formula. Okay. So the formal definition was that there is a task P, performance measure P, and training experience E. Here, so here means task is Task means suppose means face detection or signature detection. That is the task. Okay. So performance measure means, say in the previous example, suppose our expected output is, correct output is 90, but our output is, through our machine learning, output is 18.7. So here 0.3 is the error. Clear? So 0.2 is the error. So with that error, we will measure the performance. And training experience means the data set that we are feeding for training that model, that is what that training experience. Okay, it will clear with another example with this. Say we want to recognize this character, handwritten character. Okay, so from this handwritten character, first we have to generate that pattern, right? We have to search the pattern. So this character, this is an image, we will read this as an image, means some pixels, x1 to x256 pixels, suppose pixels are numbered as this, and we feed this data into the machine learning. So for a particular digit, suppose there are 1000 images. Okay, so for that 1000 image, the pattern will be, with machine learning algorithm will read that pattern and it generates something. Clear? So here, recognizing and classifying handwritten digit within image, that is our task. First we have to define what is task, what task we want to perform through machine learning. Then performance measure. When we, suppose this is a 2 digit, but it is recognized as 3. So that means some error is there. So that means after that we have to again collect more images for 2 and 3 and give us input to the machine, so that machine can learn in more efficient way and it can give the accurate result. Clear? So that performance, first we have to measure the performance error, and then we have to again means if the output is not not correct, then again we have to feed more data. Okay. So machine learning algorithm will perform well if we have sufficient amount of data. Otherwise, machine learning algorithm will not perform well. And that's the reason today machine learning is used widely, because now every day billions of byte data are generated. Okay, so as more data means more learning capability, more accurately learning capability. So machine learning basically 4 types. We all know machine learning 4 types: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning means that for robotics, that reinforcement learning is used. Here, state and action. The state and action means, suppose today means I want to design robot. Say that will basically robot. Say if temperature basically cross a certain level, then robot will basically switch off particular shut down the machine. Okay. So suppose initially I said 40 degree, but I find that after 45 degree it switch off that machine or switch off that instrument. So that means its state is defined as 45 degree. 40 degree, but it's basically switch off that thing after 45 degree. So again we have to tune that thing, tune that model, reinforcement model. Means it first defines a state. Okay, based on that state, take the action. If the action is not correct, then again it has to change the state. One ChatGPT is one example of reinforcement learning. Though in ChatGPT unsupervised learning is also used, but mainly means ChatGPT use reinforcement learning. Supervised learning. What is supervised?
I have one question. The definition you just mentioned there from machine learning, and you mentioned one term E there, right?
E for experience. Yes.
What is E in unsupervised learning?
What is E in ESS? I am coming to that. Yes, I am coming to that. Unsupervised learning is here low level data. Okay, I am coming to that. Supervised means the term itself defines the working principle of the algorithm, how the algorithm works. Supervised means some supervisor is there. Some of you are basically means have completed PhD. Some of you will join, or some of you are pursuing PhD under the supervision of some guide, right? So that means some guide is there who will tell you what to do next, or what is the current research area. So similarly here, supervised learning means there basically the definition I gave that 2x minus 1, that is one type of supervised learning. So for example, I have a data set with last 5 years temperature data of means every day. 5 years data means it's around means 2000 data. So I want to predict tomorrow's temperature. What should be the temperature of means tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So that data with machine learning algorithm, the simple machine learning algorithm, that will basically read, okay, day 1 temperature is this, day 2 temperature is this. Along this, I also set that date, means not only day, date. Suppose if it is February, we know that temperature generally varies from 35 degree to maximum temperature maybe 35, not more than that. And if we also means add additional features means some means whether some rainfall was there or not, such type of features if we also add, and if we are able to add that pollution level, more feature will add more accurately the data will is produced. Okay, so supervised learning means the data is our machine will learn the data, learn the experience. Okay, so that means for suppose 5th May in 2022, the temperature was this. Because May means the temperature is always be high, near about 40 degree temperature. So if we want to check what should be the data, means approximate temperature on May 2024, it will give me 41 to 45. Okay, because it's already know that it is the month of May, the date basically signifies the month of May, and that data may be in this duration. So approximately it will give that data. So that means some supervision is there. Or say another example is, suppose I want to check the performance of a student. So I have a data set. The data set is the students class 10 result, class 12 result, students attendance in each class in last 2 semesters, students attendance in each class. And I also collect that data that means how much time students basically spend for study and how much time students basically spend for means YouTube, obviously. So this data I have, whether the student is staying in hostel or in his home. So based on all this data, I can easily measure the even means from our experience we can easily say that the students means this semester marks maybe 5.9 or 8.9. We can easily identify in our class. If we take 20 or 25 classes, after that we can easily say, right? Because based on the performance we can easily identify whether the student is a good student or not. Okay, so similarly, that means how we can identify? Because the performance in the class of the students basically define us that whether the student is a good student or not. So similarly here, the supervised learning means something is there, some experience is already there. Based on that experience, we can identify. But unsupervised learning is not like that. One example is Google News. Google News is unsupervised learning example. What is that Google News? Google News means Google basically try to find out that similar type of news. Suppose today's news is West Bengal's budget. Right, I should not, I'll not tell you about any political term. But today everyone is discussing, right, that means some money from 500 to 1000, some money from 1000 to 1200. So this is a big news for all the papers. So Google basically, what happened, this is completely unsupervised. Google basically tried to make some clusters. Based on the pattern of that news, they basically make some cluster. okay, this is basically political news. This is basically means cricket news, news related to cricket. So in this way, Google basically classify, make some clusters.
Different categories.
Category clusters.
Okay.
Okay. So using that clustering method. Okay. So Google Google News basically means find out that thing and then it generate its own news. So Google News is one example of unsupervised learning. Another example, suppose what sense disambiguation in natural language processing. Natural language processing means that ChatGPT is totally based on natural language processing. So for natural language processing, one of the challenge is what sense disambiguation. What is what sense disambiguation? What sense disambiguation is the term bank. Bank means what? Whether it is financial bank or river bank. So this word is an ambiguous word. So in English, obviously millions of dollars are spent to solve these issues. But even in Bengali, one of my researcher, he is working on this what sense disambiguation in Bodo language, their local language, and Assamese language also. Bengali language, one of my colleague, Dr. Apurva Senapati, he is working on this part of Bengali what sense disambiguation. So in Bengali there are means several words, ambiguous words. But in Bodo there is a problem. Bodo is a tonal language. Tonal language means if some word, say hatai. Hatai is a word. Hatai means it is teeth. Hatai means it is market. And if it is in high tone, then it again says something else. So it's very difficult to disambiguate that word. And this type of means that Bodo, then some Khashi, this language are known as low resource language. Even Bengali is also low resource language. But many researchers are working on Bengali language, Bengali natural language processing. In ISI, many researchers. But Bodo is completely Bodo. Even Assamese is also low resource language. So for this language, resource generation is a difficult task.
So
We are facing.
for that case, from text, is it possible, or for signal processing we have to?
No, signal processing is also possible. Oh, that I don't know. That is the problem. We are basically we are not considering that tonal word. We are only means operating on that means text one. Because again, if we consider that tone, then we have to analyze those high speech or low speech. So it's difficult issue. So we are only focusing on a particular part. One of my students, she is working.
In case of Bodo language, will they be?
Even Punjabi is also tonal language.
From text, it is possible. Is it possible?
Look, we are considering that hatai means it has two meaning. We consider it this way. This we are working on this part. That means hatai, it is one word is
from another context.
Okay, because ChatGPT for ChatGPT project that Tom Saltman, na? Samuels. So he has many means of means he received fund from Elon Musk, he received fund from Microsoft and many other researchers. Right? But here, if we ask fund from government, then today morning I discussed in Devashish that for 8 lakh fund we have so much paperwork. We have to upload this document, that document. Means 1 rupee, if we can show that we spend this money here, then some vigilance will come. So initially I thought, okay, if I receive some project, then it's very easy. But now I have 3 projects and I can't see the foil. Because I have to maintain so much document, you can't believe, every day. Even the day before yesterday, I went office at 8:30. I had class from 8:30 to 9:30. So after 9:30 to 6:30, only half an hour I went water for having my lunch. And that whole duration I spent to prepare that document because I had to submit. Because the previous day, on Tuesday, one ministry person called me that you have not spent money because they gave me 11.5 lakh for that instrument purpose. So I told him that no, I am going to purchase that, only some approval is needed. Another thing is approval. Means ministry gave me approval, but our director not giving me the approval. So that is another part. So he told me, no, we don't want anything. You have to purchase it by end of this month. Then I received a mail at 4:30. I had to reply by 9 that they need some explanation why I didn't spend that money. So this is a problem. But Sam Altman, so he received so much fund and he spent, and that ChatGPT is one of the product, right? So just a minute. So the thing is that for this means working in this real life project, like with what sense disambiguation and all, it's really a challenge. So initially we have only considered that part, means not tonal word, we are only considered means a word with 2 meaning. Even the word may have 4 meaning, 5 meaning, we didn't consider. Even we do not consider, means now we are not working post tagging, means part of speech tagging. We are only considering that these words are noun, not even some.
You are getting the data source, the link for the data source.
That data source, this is a problem. For we have limited data source, so there is in corpus. So in Mysore, there is a linguistic institute. So they have 27. They have a corpus of 27 data languages, Indian languages.
Please mention the.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll give you that link. Okay. But Bengal, still in Bengali, that what says disambiguation, it is a big challenge. It's a big challenge. So you can also want.
Vocabulary of Bengali actually.
Because Bengali is a rich language in terms of its literature and all.
Library has to be prepared for.
For but some people are working in Bengali. ISI Kolkata, many people are working. Exactly. This student is my colleague, Dr. Shanapati. And means many Bangladeshi people are also working.
Yes.
So Punjabi is another tonal language. But problem is that traditional machine learning will not work in future because the through generative AI you can solve so many things. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, one thing I didn't understand regarding the Bodo language. What is the tonal?
Tonal means, say if you say something, say X, it has one meaning. X, it is another meaning. Okay.
No, it is there in every language. I mean.
Sir, I think Chinese also is tonal language.
Chinese, I don't know Chinese language. But Punjabi is tonal language, I know. I forget that word, Punjabi. But Bengali probably there. In Bengali language there is no such word, I guess. If have, I don't know. In Bengali, is Bengali tonal language?
No, sir.
No, that is not tonal. ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ বা আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ
Actually, emotion can be changed, but tonal meaning can be changed.
no exactly emotion can be changed means it is ambiguous but Bodo doi in Bengali doi means what? Doi means doi, right? Curd. But in Bodo doi means one meaning. Doi means water. Okay, so it's very difficult. Means I have spent 7 years almost, but I can't
complete করা যায় এটার জন্য মেশিন লার্নিং কেন লাগবে আর if I just change that particular word with some associated symbol, suppose দই যেটা আমি বলছি তার লাস্টে হস্যির পরে তো একটা জোর পড়ছে, যেমন বেঙ্গলিতে যেমন আমরা বিসর্গ ইউজ করি, হসন্ত ইউজ করি,
ওদের নেই তো ওদের Bodo
তার মানে প্রবলেমটা তো তার মানে ওর সেট অফ
Resources.
না Bodo language যেটা ইউজ হয় ওটা একটা ট্রাইবাল ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ তো they mainly use Devanagari. They don't have their own alphabet set. They are using their Devanagari. Clear? Mizo, they use English alphabet. They don't have their own alphabet set. Mizo, ওদের নিজের কোনো alphabet set নেই. Mizo, that Manipuri,
Manipuri was previously written in Bengali.
but now it's
Some
Ah.
decades before it is changed.
it is exactly completely written in Bengali, but now it's
Manipuri Nagam is also.
Naga also. But now they shifted from that script to English. So this is a problem. Bodo, it's basically type of subset of Chinese language, but they don't have any their own alphabet set. That is a big problem. Though I'm not means a researcher of NLP, because that student she came to me to work. That's why he started to work on this part. Natural language processing আমি কোনোদিনও কাজ করিনি।
Sir,
Ah.
then Google Translate is working fabulously in terms of Chinese. If it is a tonal language, it is working seamlessly.
গুগল ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ গুগল ট্রান্সলেটরে রিসেন্টলি একটা ইনসিডেন্ট বলি। আমাদের কনভোকেশন হলো আমাদের ইউনিভার্সিটি, এখানে আমাদের যিনি অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট রেজিস্ট্রার ছিলেন আর যিনি কন্ট্রোলার অফ এক্সামিনেশন, তারা দুজন মিলে করেছে কি, আমাদের এখন গভর্নমেন্ট অফ ইন্ডিয়ার রুল হচ্ছে সার্টিফিকেটে হিন্দিতে নাম দিতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? শুধু তাই নয়, সার্টিফিকেট হিন্দিতে কম্পিউটার সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং, ইলেকট্রনিক্স অ্যান্ড কমিউনিকেশন ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এগুলো সব লিখতে হবে।
মানে ইংলিশে থাকবে না?
ইংলিশেও থাকবে, হিন্দিতেও থাকবে, একদম। ওরা করেছে কি, এবার এই কনফার্মেশন মানে এটা এসছে জাস্ট 1 উইক বিফোর দ্য কনফার্মেশন। সে সময় ইয়ে চলছিল আমাদের, শীতের ছুটিও চলছিল। 10th জানুয়ারি কনফার্মেশন ডেট ছিল, 2nd 3rd জানুয়ারি এসেছিল। ওরা করেছে কি, অত স্টুডেন্ট কি করবে, টোটাল বোধহয় কত স্টুডেন্ট ছিল, 550 স্টুডেন্টস ছিল, না 550 না 750 স্টুডেন্ট ছিল পুরো। তাদের সবার করেছে কি, গুগল ট্রান্সলেটর ইউজ করেছে। পরে একজন দুজনকে দিয়েছে চেক করতে, যাদের চেক করতে দিয়েছে তারাও সেরকমই চেক করেছে, সব সার্টিফিকেট করেছে। যখন স্টুডেন্টদের দেওয়া হয়েছে, শুধু আমরা কনভোকেশনে বলে দিয়েছিলাম স্টুডেন্টদেরকে সার্টিফিকেটে ভুল থাক ঠিক থাক স্টেজে কিচ্ছু করবে না, শুধু নেবেন নিয়ে নেবে, যাতে কোনো রকম প্রবলেম না হয়। কারণ এখানে ইয়ে আসা গভর্নর আসাম আসার কথা ছিল, আমরা বলে দিয়েছিলাম, ঠিক আছে? তো আমি যখন মানে যেহেতু অ্যাজ এ হেড আমাকে স্টেজে ইয়ে করতে হয়েছিল কনভোকেশনে, যখন আসছে স্টুডেন্টটা আসছে নিচ্ছে, স্টুডেন্ট সে বোধ হয় ওই আগের দিন আমাদের রিহার্সাল হয়েছিল, পুরো একদম যা ইয়ে একদম ফুল রিহার্সাল হয়েছিল। তো সেই দিন যখন কনভোকেশনের দিন ওই ছেলেটি আগের দিন ছিল না, সে ওটা জানতো না, স্যার আমার ভুল আছে, ঠিক আছে ব্যাস কি হবে, আমি তো ওকে বুঝিয়ে পারছি না, চলে আয় চলে আয় পরে কথা হবে, চলে আয়, ঠিক আছে? ডাইরেক্টর ওইভাবে দাঁড়িয়ে বললো, হ্যাঁ যে আমাদের ওখানে সিএম বলে, মানে অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি যেখানে থাকি এটা হচ্ছে যেমন এখানে ওই গোর্খাল্যান্ড, আমাদের হচ্ছে বোরোল্যান্ড। তো বোরোল্যান্ডের যে সিএম মানে এখানে গুরুম বা ইয়ের আগে ছিল ওইরকম, তাকে করা হয়েছে। সে তো দাঁড়িয়ে কি হলো কেসটা সে বুঝতে পারছে না, এরকম তাকে সেই ইশারা টিশারা করে কোনো রকম একরকম পারলে মার্শাল দিয়ে ধরে তাকে নামিয়ে দেওয়া, ঠিক আছে? দিয়ে চলে যাও। গুগল ট্রান্সলেটর তুমি যেটা বললে না, গুগল ট্রান্সলেটর হচ্ছে ডেঞ্জারাস জিনিস। বেঙ্গলের, আমি চাইনিজের জানি না, বেঙ্গলের ক্ষেত্রে মানে খুব বেঙ্গলি কেমন, এখানে হিন্দিতে করতে গিয়েও দেখেছি আমরা, হিন্দি তো মিনস লো রিসোর্স ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ নয়, তারপরে Bhattacharya is one of the researcher who is working with Bengali and Hindi. He is the director of IIT Patna. He is a professor of IIT Mumbai. পুষ্পক ভট্টাচার্য প্রচুর কিছু ডেভেলপ করেছে, তার পেপারগুলো দেখতে পারো। হ্যাঁ,
এই ফিল্ডে প্রচুর কাজ আছে।
গুগল থেকে 150 crore পেয়েছে কদিন আগে আবার। হ্যাঁ,
আরেকটা কোয়েশ্চেন, ধরুন গুগলের কাছে এত রিসোর্স আছে, এত মানে টপ লেভেল সায়েন্টিস্ট আছে, এত ডেটা আছে, সব থেকে বড় কথা মানে এগুলো তো ডেটা হাংরি প্রসেস। তো গুগল যখন এখনো ফেল করছে, সেই জায়গায় কোনো একজন প্রফেসর বা তার টিম বা তার স্কলার ওই জিনিসগুলোকে নিয়ে রিসার্চ করছে, আর
হচ্ছে না তো, তাই তো হচ্ছে, প্রবলেম হচ্ছে।
আপনি মেনশন করলেন যেমন কয়েকজন কাজ করছেন, কয়েকজনের কথা, সেই প্রসঙ্গেই আমি বলছি যে গুগল নিজেই পারছে না এত ডেটা নিয়ে, এত রিসোর্স নিয়ে, তাহলে আমার কি সেই জায়গাগুলোতে রিসার্চ করাটা মানে
না, একদমই উচিত নয়। আমি আমার এক্সপিরিয়েন্স বলছি, আমার একটা খুব ভালো পেপার ঠিক আছে, পেপারটা থার্ড টাইম রিজেক্ট হলো, তার কারণ জার্নালগুলো এই পেপার ইয়ে করতে চাইছে না, বুঝেই বড় দেখছে, রিজেক্ট করে দিচ্ছে। তার কারণ জানে ওর সাইটেশন পাবে না। সব কিছু বিজনেস আজকাল, ঠিক আছে, পুরোটা বিজনেসে চলে। আমি ক্যামেরা অন আছে।
প্রসেসিং করে কেউ করে তাহলে তো টোনাল প্রসেসিং করলে তো
স্পিচ
ইজি
প্রসেসিং
হয়ে
করতেই
যাবে।
হবে, করতেই হবে স্পিচ প্রসেসিং। উইদাউট স্পিচ প্রসেসিং এটা করা যাবে না। কি করে টোনাল, নাহলে টোনালটাকে ও ডিটেক্ট করবে কি করে?
এক্স্যাক্টলি।
ঠিক আছে, হাই টোন মানে ওটা একটা সিগন্যাল প্রসেসিং করবে পরে
তো ওটা তো অনেক
হ্যাঁ?
ইজি হবে।
হাই ওই
হ্যাঁ, ওই তো।
কিছু একটা প্যাটার্ন। মেশিন লার্নিং মিন্স কি, আমি তারপরে ফর্মালি আসছি। মেশিন লার্নিং মিন্স কি? মেশিন লার্নিং মিন্স এভাবে ডিফাইন করতে পারি যে একটা টেকনিক যে কি করছে, প্রিভিয়াস ডেটা থেকে লার্ন করছে, ঠিক আছে, কি লার্ন করছে, একটা প্যাটার্ন লার্ন করছে, সেই প্যাটার্নটাকে ইউজ করছে আননোন ডেটা, তাই তো? তাহলে প্যাটার্ন যদি না হয়, হাউ মেশিন লার্নিং উইল ওয়ার্ক? তো একটা প্যাটার্ন জেনারেট করতে হবে। বাট স্পিচ প্রসেসিং, উইদাউট স্পিচ প্রসেসিং দ্য টোনাল ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ কান্ট বি সাউন্ড। পাঞ্জাবিতে কিছু আছে, দেখবেন, আমি জানি না, খুব একটা ইয়ে নেই, ফ্যামিলিয়ার নেই এর সাথে, ঠিক আছে। Now, semi-supervised learning. What is semi-supervised learning? Can anyone give one example of semi-supervised learning? Semi-supervised means Google level data and
image,
Google Photos. Google Photo is one of the example of semi-supervised learning. Why? Few level and many unleveled. Few level means in Google Photo, when you store all photos in Google, sometimes Google shows some album, right? And that album, they says that this is your family album, this is your friend album. How they define? Because who are your family member, that data is given, that is labeled. Who are your family member? Based on their name and surname, they identify. Right? And that grouping, that is basically clustering, making the cluster. Okay, so that are unlabeled. So Google Photo, that that album is one example of semi-supervised learning. Okay. One of the application of machine learning is authentication. There are many applications, but I want to just explain one application because that application is related to industry 4.2 and 5.0. So that application is that user access authentication. When we want to log in into a system, we need user ID and password. But user ID and password are not safe; they are vulnerable, right? Anyone may guess. Now there are so many rules for password that mixing of lowercase and uppercase, numbers, special characters, all. But still, it's breakable. Means one calculation I have seen that mixing of the different special characters, lowercase, uppercase, numeric value, password with size 10 can be you can break, if hackers can break within 50 days. Within 50 days. And I don't know what will happen if quantum computer comes. It will be hacked within a minute. If quantum computer comes, the whole system, whole scenario will be changed. Whole banking system, everything will be changed. But anyway, now people are working instead of along with this user ID and password, people are also working with behavior authentication. So there are some other, along with that user ID and password, some other authentication techniques are also used. Obviously, we know that biometric authentication is one of the example. But another is all-time biometric authentication is not useful. So some authentication technique are used that is known as behavior authentication, BAC. So what is this? Means this is one of the recent topic. Many people are working on behavior authentication. One of my MTech students is also working. This is I have taken this from his project. Actually, I told you that I am basically a security person, so my research area is security. So this is from taken from that part. So here, what will happen? BA system is verifying along with means our user ID and password, it basically verify that behavioral data. So behavioral data are stored. Behavioral data is that handwriting pattern. Say I use generally means shift and suppose I want to use that uppercase. So I generally use that shift and this. Some people use different pattern, right? Every means the pattern of everyone means all of us are different, not same. Right? I use single hand. Some people may use two hands. So in this way. So that typing pattern, gestures, all are basically captured. All are captured and stored in a database. For a particular user, suppose means 50 such type of patterns, 50 such type of different data are captured and stored in here. Because more feature means more accurate result. So after that, that pattern is used. Using machine learning model, MLAAS means machine learning as a system. MLAAS is this machine learning as a system. So this machine learning as a system can be used for this this is not biometric authentication. This is basically a behavioral authentication system. Okay, so that machine learning model can be used. So what is that? This process, the entire process I am so the registration phase, they basically construct profile and store them in a database. Then the new profile compare with the claimed profile. Okay. So machine learning algorithm, they are basically trained. They know that this is the pattern because if you use that supervised learning, so they know okay this pattern belongs to this person or user U1. This pattern is basically for user 2. So in this way, in the database, they basically store the pattern. So when we type in this way, now I am giving my user ID and password this way. Someone they somehow identify my user ID and password, right? So when they will try to type the password or user ID, then it will easily be identified because his typing pattern and my typing pattern are different. So it will easily be identified by the system. Okay, so machine learning technique can be used for this case. Okay. And this is one of the important topic because industry 5.0 or whatever, this user authentication is one of the important challenge. Okay.
So sir, if I type fast, then it is a single pattern. If I type slow, then it is a slow pattern.
But yes, obviously. Suppose you write fast, you write slow. Okay. When we buy a new phone, then we have to use our authentication, right? So we have to give different pattern, right? Why? Different pattern. So that exactly. Sometimes I can open in this way. Sometimes I can open in that way. So in both the cases it will open. So that typing speed also be measured. Okay. So that's why I told you that more number of feature, the system will accurate more. Suppose you have 10 feature. So, but you do not include the typing speed. They do not capture the typing speed. So obviously you can type sometimes fast, sometimes very slow. So obviously for slow pattern, when you type slow, then that will not be identified. So you will be declined to enter into the system. Clear? So typing pattern may be number of character per second is this. Number of character per second is too high, too low. In this way, it may be also captured. We have captured only the type. Means my students, they only captured the typing. Means how they basically this. But it is a difficult project. Okay, means I have received actually a project fund from METI, Ministry of Electronics and
So that is not very convenient way to protect our system.
Which one?
Because that is not very convenient, I think.
But that is obviously not convenient, but sometimes it is essential. Because only password is not sufficient. Post-quantum, actually now we are using post-quantum cryptography, post-quantum technique. Because if this quantum computing developed, quantum computing is used, then all these traditional systems will not work. So we have to think about future. So I submitted that project and they gave me the fund to my student. They are basically working. It's difficult to implement. Huh?
Data capture for implement?
এই ডেটাটাও সেন্সর আছে, সেন্সর দিয়ে আমাদেরকে করতে হয়। So sensor, ওই যে বললাম IoT means sensor, one of the important part হচ্ছে সেন্সর। আমি জানি না মানে আমার হাতে 2 বছর টাইম আছে, আমি ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করতে পারবো কিনা।
স্যার আরেকটা ওয়ে তো হতে পারে স্যার, একটা আছে লাইব্রেরি আছে যেটাকে পাই অটো জিওআই বলা হয়, সেখানে স্যার ওই ওটা দিয়ে কিন্তু স্যার হ্যান্ড মুভমেন্ট গুলোকে স্যার ক্যাপচার করা যায়।
আমাদের কিছু প্রবলেম আছে, যখন আমি প্রজেক্ট করব আমাদেরকে যেখান থেকে যা যা করবো সব অ্যাকনোলেজ করতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? কারণ ফান্ড দিচ্ছে মানে তারা এক্সপেক্ট করছে আমাদের নতুন কিছু করতে। আমি ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট রিসার্চার হতো, আমি নিয়ে করতে পারতাম, বুঝে আসছে? কারণ ওর জন্য আমরা ফান্ড পেয়েছি। ওরা যে ডিভাইসগুলো আমরা কিনেছি সেই ডিভাইসগুলোর ইউটিলিটি দেখাতে হবে, এটা একটা প্রবলেম আছে। তো অনেক টেকনিক, এটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি স্টার্ট করেছিলাম আমি 2 বছর আগে, তারপরে এটা করিনি। ফান্ড প্রজেক্টটা সাবমিট করেছিলাম 2 বছর আগে, ফান্ড পেয়েছি রিসেন্ট, এখন ভোট আসছে তাই ফান্ড দিয়েছি। বলা উচিত না আমার ক্যামেরা অফ ক্যামেরা। ক্যামেরা মান কোথায় আছে?
ক্যামেরা
পাঁচটা
চলছে।
বাদ দেওয়া উচিত।
বাদ দাও?
ও স্যার,
আচ্ছা
ও
বন্ধ
স্যার।
করে দিচ্ছি।
এটা কোথাও
না না এটা ঠিক আছে, আমি জাস্ট এমনি বলছি। Next, however, this system has many difficulties. What are the difficulties? Because machine, I don't know whether you are using machine learning algorithm or you are working in machine learning or not. So those who are basically using TensorFlow, they generally use Google Colab. Right? Google Colab, you are basically running your program in Google Colab. So Google Colab basically a third party, right? They provide a third party system. So if we try to implement this in Google Colab, then there is a problem that all that pattern will be revealed, right? Published. So that generates another issue, because if we store all our this data in Google Colab, Google Drive, because Google Colab means we have to store that database in Google Drive. So that means our data published. Basically, our privacy has been revealed. So to stop that, we can use another technique that is known as federated learning. I'll explain that federated learning. So this is normal centralized learning. Centralized learning means, suppose for this project, I am capturing data using device 1, device 2, right? Device 3, device 4. Because my writing pattern in mobile and my writing pattern in laptop and in smartwatch will all be not same, right? Some people use one single hand in mobile, some people use both the hand, and for the laptop also. So all these things I basically capture and store and then run that model in cloud. Okay, so this is centralized learning system, centralized learning process, traditional learning process, traditional machine learning process. But this is federated learning process. What happens in federated learning process? Because in this case we have to upload our data in third party, in this third party cloud. But the federated learning model, our local system will execute that model, will run that model and generate that pattern and upload that model. Instead of uploading the data, we will upload the model. So in this way our privacy will be preserved. So here we are not directly upload the data, so our data is safe in our system, our local system. So we only upload that model, and that model they basically with the aggregation process, that model again executed, and then that model can be downloaded by these local devices and they can again perform this thing. So this technique is known as federated learning. Okay, so federated learning, this is the FL-IoT architecture, the popular FL-IoT architecture. Here that IoT means these devices, these all are known as edge. This data will be generated at the edge and that data will be uploaded to the cloud. In cloud, after aggregation method, that data will be again re-executed by the global model, and that global model can be downloaded by local model and they can again perform execute the same system. So this is the communication in FL IoT. Here, that basically these are the IoT devices, and this is the aggregator. So first device, this one device will be selected. For the selection, obviously again authentication is needed, because the system will not allow any device. Some authentication should be there. And here means many challenges we generally face, and we can use that blockchain system. After that, I will explain that blockchain system also. So that device, what that IoT device, they first authenticate themselves. Then they are able to download that model, and then that model is executed at the local system. Now, this is the actual flowchart of FL learning. In this process, what happens? These are the local model. Now, first, the devices, they generally download the global model. Global model means, say for example, say in Google Drive, in Google Colab, say ResNet 50. ResNet 50 is a neural network. Those who are working actually, and Monica is working actually. She in her project, she worked in ResNet 50, and so ResNet 50, that is a pre-trained model. Pre-trained model means what? Pre-trained model means the model is already trained with a data set that is known as ImageNet. ImageNet has millions of images, right? So ImageNet, it basically means classify 39 classes, if I am not wrong, 39 classes probably. So that ImageNet, that you can consider that ImageNet as a global model. So we can basically download that ImageNet model in the local system. And in a local system, she basically means complete her project in that way. So in our local model, we have our local images. So with that local images, we basically train the model, and for better performance, we again will upload that model to the to here. So what will happen? Suppose she was working basically motor imaginary image. Someone is working suppose some leaf disease detection image. Someone basically using some COVID-19 disease detection. Means COVID-19 from X-ray we can easily detect it is whether pneumonia or COVID or means healthy image. So suppose there are three different type of work, but all work, instead of uploading their data into the cloud, they basically in their local model they execute their local system, they execute their local model, and then that local model parameter. Model means what? Some parameters. So that those parameters they are basically uploaded. After that, after execution from with that local data, that local model. From this local data, this is the local system. So first they download, then this local model, they upload their data and execute this model in the local system. After execution, they only upload the model parameters. So model parameters they upload, not the means their data. So model parameters upload means their privacies are preserved. So in this way, federated learning basically preserves the privacy. So after that, what will happen? That global model, they are again using this formula. This is one of the formula. Many people are using many formula, and many people are working on that. This is known as FedApp. This algorithm is known as a famous algorithm for federated learning. This algorithm basically use this formula. With this formula, they basically aggregate that model, because model aggregation is again a challenge. I am not going to in-depth discussion on model aggregation part. So with this formula, they basically aggregate all the model, and again this process is repeated until the whole system converges. Okay, converges means that error is minimized. Okay, so initialization and global model download, that is the step 1. Step 2 is local model training and upload, and aggregation and global model update is the third model. So step 2 and step 3 basically repeated. Now federated learning. Federated learning is basically classified into two types, based on data partitioning and based on network structure. So this is the based on data partitioning. Horizontal federated learning. Horizontal federated learning means, suppose I have a data set. This is a data set. The data set in columns, they basically define the features. Features means name, roll number, age, gender, etc. And sample means a particular person's data, right? So that data basically partitioned with respect to that means row wise. So data on client 1, client 2. So how the client 1 and client 2 will read that data with that column row wise. Okay. So this is known as horizontal federated learning. This federated learning means the data means client, when client upload that data, when client upload the model, then their model will be uploaded in that row wise pattern. Okay, horizontal model. Another is the vertical model. Vertical model means feature wise. That model will be trained based on feature. Means suppose client 1, they basically trained based on that all female candidate. Means male or female candidate based on that feature. Someone client 2 is basically train the model based on age. So in this way, that vertical federated learning works. This is basically centralized federated learning. Means all the models will be aggregated at a central cloud, and this is basically here all are connected, all local nodes are connected, and no central authority is there. Okay, so this client share its model to this client, and this client again execute, and again this client receives some model from here and again execute. So in this way, they basically execute their model. Here no central control authority is there. So this is the summary of open source framework of FL. Those who want to work on federated learning, these are the good resources. Some good resources are available here in GitHub. Basically for TensorFlow, 90% researchers they use TensorFlow. It is TensorFlow and PyTorch. Basically TensorFlow is funded by Google, and PyTorch basically funded by Facebook. Okay, PyTorch, but PyTorch has more libraries than TensorFlow. But TensorFlow, it's it is easy to use TensorFlow because 90% researchers they generally use TensorFlow. So if you work on TensorFlow, because Monica probably faced the same problem, because PyTorch means it has so many libraries. But PyTorch, when you face some problem, then community can't help you. But TensorFlow has a strong community. Means if you face some problem, you type post a question in GitHub, so you will get so many resources. Now others are also there. You can try. Now our next is blockchain. But because I told you one of the component is blockchain. Okay. What is blockchain? Can anyone know? You have any idea about blockchain? Anyone have any idea about it? I will try to explain blockchain in a simpler way.
Distributed ledger.
Distributed ledger is fine. What is distributed ledger?
Distributed ledgers means it keeps the track of some transactions.
Some transaction, yes, exactly. And basically blockchain, basically all the transactions are stored in a block and they are connected with a chain. Okay, so that is basically the basic definition of blockchain. So suppose 4 friends, they want to they meet during puja, and they wants to basically they met in a party, and after having dinner, one of them paid that. Suppose Amit basically paid the whole bill, but all 4 wants to share that amount equally. So they will basically send that money to Amit. Generally, we are used to with this thing, right? We pay with Google Pay or Phone Pay or some other thing, or a bank transaction. But they don't want to pay with any third party banking system. So what they will do? Suppose initially Amit has 5 Bitcoin initially. So and Shodav, they will pay with Bitcoin, and Shodav wants to pay that Bitcoin. Pay 2 Bitcoin because suppose total amount was 6 Bitcoin, so Shodav wants to pay this with 2 Bitcoin. So each will pay 2 Bitcoin. So after that, but there is a problem. Some malicious user, some hacker, so that malicious user, it may hack the system, clear. Or later on, suppose Amit, Subir, it means he denies that I have paid but you have not received. In this way also. Okay. So to avoid all these things, all the transactions are basically stored in a block. That Shodav paid 2 Bitcoin to Amit. That is recorded. After that, Amit means so now the Amit balance is 7, Shodav balance is 1. After that, suppose Subir at this moment Subir and Ravi, their balance is 3. So when Subir paid, then Amit balance will be 11. Okay, recorded as 11 and 9, and Subir's balance will be 1. So finally, Amit balance will be 11, and all their balances 1, 1, 1. So all these 3 blocks represent individual transaction, and these blocks will be interconnected. So this is the concept of blockchain. Means all the transactions are recorded and all the recorders are connected. So this is called blockchain. This is the simple definition of blockchain. And that blockchain, everyone can access. All the members can access. Okay, so blockchain will be distributed to all of them. Okay. So this is the formal definition of blockchain. The blockchain can be described as collection of records, that he already mentioned, collection of records obviously, and linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration. This is the most important part. Means no one can alter this data because it is encrypted by cryptography, protected by cryptography. Clear? So this is the blockchain. Cryptography means, so you all know what is cryptography. Say every day we are using when we are using WhatsApp, then our data is end-to-end encrypted, right? So this is the example of cryptography. Means some key is there, our message is protected. So, suppose a simple example, we want to send a message hello, but when the message is that hello, that message is encrypted with key. Used here a simple technology, that means the H is shifted to 3 characters, that means K. So in this all the characters are shifted and this is the word. So this is a noise-like word. So this is known as ciphertext. Ciphertext is nothing but the noise-like word. So end-to-end encryption means that hello message, when it will be transmitted through that channel, it will be with normal noise-like message. It will be transmitted in the form of noise-like messages. Okay, so no one can guess what I actually sent. So finally, again, this message will be received in its original form. Okay, so decrypted form. So blockchain, one of the important features of blockchain is cryptography. Here, these are the basic features of blockchain. One is immutability, decentralization. Decentralization means no third-party controller are there. Okay. Then, though I am talking about public blockchain, or for private blockchain, some third party are there, some trusted third party are there. Secure connected chain and tamper resistant chain. This is one of the important ones. No one can tamper. In blockchain, one of the concept, one of the data structure, tree data structure is used. That tree data structure is known as Mortel tree. So Mortel tree data structure is used. And in blockchain is already defined, right? Blockchain, many people are working. But if you want to research, then you have to work in this basic part, that Mortel tree, how this data structure can be improved and all. So Mortel tree is one of the important part of blockchain. What is that Mortel tree? Mortel tree, the main thing is that we know that these are leaf node, these are non-leaf node. These are leaf node, these are non-leaf nodes. Then in binary tree, this tree basically works from top-down approach, right? So first this node, then this node. So if any new node comes, it will be added here. But in blockchain, this thing is something different. Here that lower level, these all are hash. SHA1 or SHA2 or MP5, some hash function will be used. So with that hash function, that hash value, they are stored here. So after that, for every transaction, that's why the alteration is not possible. Alteration is tamper free. After this, for these two transactions, suppose I am using for two transactions, so that transactions are hashed, and then they are merged and again hashed, and finally they are merged with another two transactions, again merged and hashed and stored in GL. Clear? In the root. Blockchain, in blockchain, the tree works from bottom-up approach. That is top-down approach, normal binary top-down approach, but this is bottom-up approach. Okay. So as a result, every transactions are recorded through the Mortel tree. This is the Mortel tree. This is the structure of the block. That this Mortel tree is basically stored here. Mortel tree means root is stored here in the block, so that when you means anyone wants to check the authenticity or whether the block has been tampered or not, they can again regenerate this tree and match that hash value, whether that hash value matched or not. If matched, so that is no tamper, and that is not possible. That tampering is not possible. Clear? So that block will be accepted, and at the same time, along with this value, it also keep the record of the previous block and the next block. That way, we means in the previous example, that showed up should be the example. I already mentioned that thing. Okay. So this is the structure overview of blockchain.
So I have one question. So the leaf node, all the leaf node, they suggest how many transaction has been occurred in the network.
They basically record the basic transactions. Suppose that showed up should be the example. First, showed up paid.
Showed up should be transaction is one transaction, so I will be having one hash for one transaction.
One transaction, yes. And means more transactions, means more hash will be generated. But how it will be stored in a single blockchain, a single block. So that Mortel tree, in that way Mortel tree will grow, and that final hash will be stored.
So
Clear?
finally, it is storing single hash. And that hash is used to, address that in the linked list of the block.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes. Blockchain means it is type of linked list. But in linked list means the basic linked list means we know that only one two data stored, but no. Actually, in blockchain means all the data, different types of data. You can add additional features also. You can include additional features also in the blockchain. Okay. So now, this is the blockchain working methodology. In this example, here the blocks, the new blocks are appended in this way. Yeah. And here the public key and private key are used. Here public key means private key. Public key, private key means we basically encrypt our data with the private key. So it will be decrypted by public key. So that means, that indicates if it is decrypted, and after that taking those hash value or if the hash value are not altered, if the hash value are unaltered, so that means nothing wrong in that blockchain. Public key, private key, let me one example, those who are familiar with public key and private key. In cryptography system, basically classified into two types. One is symmetric cryptography, means only one key will be there to encrypt and decrypt the whole thing. And another is asymmetric. Asymmetric means two key will be there. It is one analogy is our mail means Gmail. So Gmail means our password is our private key and our mail ID is our public key. We can just explain this in this way. So my mail ID is known to everyone, right? So if you receive a mail from my mail ID, so that you can easily authenticate, okay, this mail has come from this person. But you can't enter into my login portal inbox without my password. So that is basically my private key. Okay, so here in blockchain also, that I will encrypt, means I will write my mail through my private key. Means I encrypt through the private key, and who will decrypt, will receive that mail, right? With my mail ID. Means with my public key, in that way. It's a simple example, but actual thing is not like that. Now, taxonomy of blockchain. Blockchain basically three types. There are other types, I am not going to explain that part. If you are interested, then I'll mail you some blockchain related good papers. Public blockchain, private blockchain, and consortium blockchain. That's hybrid type of blockchain. So the blockchain what I discussed previously, that is basically public blockchain, not private blockchain. Public blockchain means anyone can join in public blockchain with obviously with some records, with some authenticity. After that authentication, you can join in any public blockchain. But private blockchain, there is some central authority, some private authority who basically control whether you are allowed to join or not. Okay, so that is for private blockchain. Private blockchain are used by a single organization, and consortium blockchain is basically means a multiple organization, or suppose for a single organization but it has multiple branches, multiple sectors. Okay, say for example Tata. Tata has Tata Motors, Tata Energy, Tata Consumer, everything. So for Tata, for each sector there will be one blockchain. But say for Tata Motors, its blockchain is basically private type of blockchain. So that is the difference between consortium blockchain and private blockchain. Okay.
Sir, can you please one more time please explain the consortium one?
Consortium means here it is basically public means this is a blockchain that anyone can join. Say Bitcoin is one example. That is a public blockchain. Okay, but private blockchain, Ethereum is probably private blockchain. Consortium means it's basically here. What is the main difference? Anyone can join this blockchain, right? Private means suppose Tata Motors. This is Tata Motors blockchain. Right, so any new entity if wants to join in Tata Motors blockchain, he has to take the permission from the authority of Tata Motors here. Right, now Tata Motors, Tata Consumer, Telco or Tisco means all those, they are basically under Tata Group. Right, so in that case Tata Group is the authority. Clear, so they have individual private blockchain. But as a whole they are consortium blockchain. Just like a consortium. Clear. So in this way, individual they will maintain their own blockchain, but when for interconnection they can use that blockchain, Tata's original blockchain. That is consortium blockchain. Means some private blockchains they are connected under a single head, so that is called consortium.
Sir,
Okay.
you have told that Bitcoin is public blockchain and Ethereum might be private blockchain, but both are comes under the cryptocurrency. Then why is the difference?
Ethereum, you can't use Ethereum without the Ethereum. They some part of the Ethereum you can use for your research, own research, but only limited features are there. Ethereum. You can't use because in the private learning I will show you. We used Ethereum, but we could not implement the whole thing because there are some problems. So you have to take the permission from authority.
I have one question. The core of the blockchain is to make things decentralized.
Decentralized.
Right. Now, when I am going to private blockchain or the consortium, isn't it getting
That's
some
why I
sense?
told you that what definition formally means when I define blockchain, I told you that is basically private public blockchain. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's
That
after the
concept
public
is actually decentralization, but that decentralization after taking the permission, that whole thing is this whole thing. This is basically without taking permission from here. Central authority will not interfere. But to enter from this or exit from this system, you have to take the permission of central authority.
Okay, for the entry purpose,
Entry purpose.
I need to take permission.
And the blockchain activity will be means confined within that organization.
But they will not commission the transaction process.
Yes. Within that organization, everything, all the blockchain's property will be satisfied.
Okay.
But no one can means add there. But for Bitcoin, that is possible. Anyone can, means with some obviously authenticity, anyone can join blockchain. for IITs, okay, let me explain it to another way. For IIT students, those who are IIT students, so they know that IIT has their own network. For Kharagpur IIT, for IIT Guwahati, for IIT that is known as DC. For IIT Kharagpur that was DC because I know that I was there for 3 months. So DC means everything is available. Everything is everything. That time means I am talking about 2004. That time YouTube was not too popular. Means not too popular. YouTube was not developed that time. So means in their intranet everything is available. So that is basically only if you have that IIT access or IIT mail ID you can access. But outside IIT you can't do that. You can. That is analogous to private blockchain. Means when I have that email ID, I am allowed to join that particular network, DC network. This is maintained by some administrator is there. Now, suppose some IIT Guwahati students, if he wants to access those things, he can't. But for all the IITs, they have an IIT council. So they have some their own network, so that that can be accessed by all. That is consortium type. Clear?
Sir,
But we generally use public blockchain.
sir, actually, what is happening, as you have told that this is the concept of what? Decentralized thing.
Decentralized thing.
So, sir, actually, the illegal activities are happening through this decentralized thing. So, I think there must be some way of govern that thing. Actually, what is going inside this decentralized thing?
For decentralized part means this block is open to all, right? So anyone can extract the information. Who are the part of this blockchain, right? For Bitcoin, those who are using Bitcoin, they know that means savings of your Bitcoin, my Bitcoin, the transaction, everything, because all are basically transparent. Decentralized, distributed ledger. But here, in private blockchain, only inside the organization, those who are the part of that particular blockchain, they can, that information is visible to only those members, not others. Okay. Say for example, in this, means those who are the faculty member of this institute, they can use any document. Any document means say student question bank, students notes, anything. But can they access the data of any other institute like IAM or others? So because this is the private part, right? IAM is another part, but all are under Macau, right? So that is basically this statement. Okay. It has means if you want, I can provide you some paper on this particular part. If you want to work on private blockchain, I'll share a paper on IEEE communication science and computers. That's the excellent paper I'll share, published in 2019. Clear? Now, I told you that federated learning has many problems. That it has one of the problem is okay, sorry, I forget to mention that federated learning, it has some problem. One of my research student, Sanchita Shah. So she is working on the privacy preservation in federated learning. She is actually from the Institute of Technology. So she has submitted an excellent paper. 2 round of review, final revision has been submitted. So there, what happened? Privacy preservation is one of the problems. Federated learning has 2 attacks. One is data poisoning attack. Another is that interference attack. Data poisoning attack and model poisoning attack. Data poisoning attack means in federated learning, as you know that federated learning means okay. Let's go back to that federated learning part. Federated learning means in this network, this is a federated learning network. So in this network, excuse me. In federated learning part, what happened? So all local node they they basically upload that model, right? Instead of uploading the model, they generally instead of uploading the data, they generally upload the model. But suppose this user, they are malicious user, right? So instead of uploading the actual data, instead of uploading their actual model, they basically train the model with some noise data and upload. So what will happen? Noise data means there is no pattern. We all know that noise data means no pattern, right? So so obviously model that will not be accurate. So if that model is uploaded here and that models are grouped together, means after aggregation method, after aggregation, that model will not produce the proper output, accurate output. So this is a big problem. This problem is known as model poisoning attack. Okay, sorry, data poisoning attack, because it basically poisons the data. Okay, so this is one of the problem of federated learning. So to do that, means in order to prevent from this problem, such type of problem, blockchain is helpful. How blockchain is helpful? Because blockchain it basically keep the record of all the data, all the transactions, all the performance. So no one can cheat, right? So no one can cheat. So here what will happen? So before or after uploading, all the transactions will be recorded in the blockchain, and then the entire thing will be executed. Right. So in this way, privacy will be preserved. The data of poisoning attack can also be prevented. Now, this is one of the recent research work that for COVID-19 image classification with blockchain. I have taken this data from one of the research paper. They have done excellent research work. That journal infrastructure is 10 point something. So what happened for individual hospital? For all, suppose there are 8 hospital. I told you that blockchain is for any client can upload the data in the global model and then they can execute. But hospitals, they do not have that sufficient GPU to execute that deep learning model. So they obviously they have to use that third-party GPU. But third-party GPU means you know that hospital data, that is the private data, so no one can upload, because I will never disclose my medical report, right? Means whatever disease I have, I should not disclose that thing. So hospital data are private data, so they have to maintain their privacy. So COVID, obviously everyone knows that what happened in COVID during COVID period. So that chest X-ray, through chest X-ray, COVID-19 detection is possible. So there are basically, because through chest X-ray it can be easily distinguished whether that it is COVID or it is pneumonia or it is normal. Okay, so there are basically 3 classes. So hospital, they collect their X-ray, and that X-ray they train in their local model and upload that model to the cloud, third-party authority. Before uploading, they have to maintain this blockchain. So that means their record, transaction record has been captured. Right? After that, so all of them basically uploaded their chest X-rays for COVID-19. They will not upload suppose brain tumor data, right? Because that model is totally based on that. So if they upload brain tumor data or some noise-like data, then the entire process of detection COVID-19 will be hampered, right? So that's why they have shown, this researchers, they have shown that through blockchain they captured all these things and they can easily identify the COVID-19 disease.
Now, through blockchain, what did they exactly send to the third party?
When you, for COVID-19, when you are uploading the data, basically you have chest X-ray images, but for brain tumor it will have another pattern. Right? So when you when your machine learning system it basically train the text X-ray images, they will capture some extract some features. That same feature will not be like a brain tumor. So for that feature, they will apply some hash, because you are basically uploading some model. Model means what? Some mathematical equation or mathematical parameter or
Model
something.
means
So that thing will be captured. So later on, suppose if someone upload not what else I say brain tumor photos, so their pattern will not be the same. So
I
who basically
understand
make
that part. My question is what the hospital authority they are sending to the third party so that we need to deploy something like blockchain. That is my question. What exactly they are sending to the third party?
blockchain means what? Blockchain basically capture what data? It basically capture the transaction, right? So if you provide any wrong data, that information will also be stored. Means wrong data will not be stored. Means when they will try to find it out, who basically makes this thing? Because everybody is uploading their, in normal failure deadline means everybody is uploading the model. No transaction is maintained, right? But when you use blockchain, your transaction will be maintained. In what time, what model you have uploaded, that thing you will be published, right? So easily it can be identified later on. If anyone uploads some noise-like data, then it can easily, suppose if model not perform well, so that means something is wrong. Then administrator will check what happened. So in this way,
The model is running on whose machine? Third party machine or hospital's own machine?
there are federated learning means there are two things. One is local model and is global model. In local model, I basically execute my model. With my own data and I upload that pattern.
Okay.
Right? That pattern means that model will be uploaded to the this third party. Okay. So third party will collect all the model
From different
sources.
Okay.
Right? Then they aggregate. With that aggregating function I have shown previously. After aggregation, that model will again be executed because now that model has many parameter of many models. So it will aggregate that, execute that model, and the performance will be better. A better model will be
Is it
defined.
leading towards ensemble model? Are you
No, ensemble is different issue. Ensemble is
No, that suppose I have 10.h5 model. I mean, model is kept in .h5 format. So I have that kind of 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay,
5 from 10 different.
I'll discuss this after that. That is better. Don't worry.
Okay, fine.
I will explain this.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
We are not being able to access the medical data, right? If there is NHP resources are there from which we can take this medical images?
Yeah, for X-ray COVID-19, the data set is available. Actually, during COVID period, I have one paper on this. So during COVID period, I started working on this image classification, not using blockchain and this, because this is not my work. I have taken from someone. So, and one of my students, he also collected from local hospital 87 images, SX images, with proper labeling, because labeling is important. So that just X-ray data, there are basically 3 sources. I will give you the links. So from that 3 sources, you can easily download. From Kaggle, you can easily download that images. One source, it basically has probably 5,000 images with 3 classes. Another source that has almost 8,000 but 4 classes. I'm talking about just X-ray images. For CT scan images are also available. So you can work with those things.
Sir, is it from Kaggle?
Kaggle, yes, Kaggle, it is available. Open source. Open source. But that time I tested with that 47 local images whether my model works good or not. But I could not publish that work because we have an ethics committee and they didn't allow me to do that.
Yes, that's my question. If I
But for this case, this data are published by Kaggle means that are authentic. So you can use it. No one will.
Yes, I'm asking you that if someone add some of the data, like considering the local community.
Hospital, local community, yes.
That-
You can't use without ethics committee because when you submit this paper, so they will you have to upload some declaration from ethics committee from your parent organization. if your parent organization allow you fine, but no one will allow for local data. But for those data, when you declare, no, I have taken this data from KGL or UCI, then they will allow you. That is the problem.
Sir, local data means the data that you are capturing from the hospitals.
Local hospital.
Yeah.
Local hospital.
For that we need to take this permission.
100%. One of my colleague.
Permission from both the end, from the hospital as well as from the.
them. I'm giving one example. One of my colleague Ganesh, he recently one of his work means he is a researcher from AICTE. Mechatronics department.
Subhasis.
Sir, yes. So Ganesh, he developed some art, but his parent institute didn't give him that ethics clearance. So his work is completely waste, and then he worked in something part that means he is also co-guide of Monica, means motor imaginary image. Then he worked on that available data set. So this is a big problem because if you generate some data from lab, you have to pass that data through ethics.
Actually, I work in the area of Alzheimer's detection.
Again a problem.
When I applied for this project, so they told me that obviously you have to go for this live data. I mean the hospital data. Otherwise, we get the data from ADN data set, right? But they don't rely on that
Image data.
Image data,
yes.
So actually, that is the problem to face the data from the hospital.
No, we. My another student. Not now. Not now. It's okay, fine. I generally don't like tea. No problem. Huh? It's okay. Only water is fine. Thank you. So she is working on explainable AI. So, but for explainable AI, again, you know that Alzheimer images are not sufficient. Only a few images, 2,000 images, right? And there is another source, but that source is not publicly available. You can't download that data. So then again there is a problem because one of my friend is doctor, so I contacted him. But the problem is because for explainable AI, you in your work, whether that explanation is correct or wrong, one doctor should certify. Otherwise, journals will not allow you to publish. Good journal.
Right.
So when I talked to the doctor, he told me no. He is from also Pokajal Government Hospital. So he told me no, my hospital will not allow me to. So this ethics is a big problem.
Even for private organization like private clinic or so, the same problem will
Yes. Yes. Career problem. আমি একটা
ডক্টরের সঙ্গে যদি সঙ্গে মিলে প্রজেক্টের অ্যাপ্লাই করা
হ্যাঁ ওই আসছে ওইটাতেই অ্যালজাইমারের উপরে একজন খুব ভালো রিসার্চ করে সন্দীপ চক্রবর্তী আইআইটি খড়গপুর তুমি তার সাথে কন্ট্যাক্ট করতে পারো সন্দীপ চক্রবর্তী ওনার যে ডেটাটা ইউএস এর একটা অর্গানাইজেশন থেকে সাথে কাজ করছিল সন্দীপ চক্রবর্তী আইআইএম প্রবাবলি ইয়েতে যোধপুর কোনো একটা আইআইএম আছে আইআইটি যোধপুর আর বোধহয় ক্যালটেক এরা মিলে একটা কাজ করছে ও আইএসআই কলকাতাও আছে ওরা এর উপর কিছু কাজ করে এবং ওদের যদি কোনোভাবে ওদের কাছ থেকে ডেটা নিতে পারে ওরা একদম রিয়েল ডেটা পাওয়া যাবে ফর টেস্ট আমি জানি
আমরা ট্রেনিং টেস্টিং দুটোই ওই এডিএন ডেটা সেট পেয়ে করি
ভাই তাই করে কিছু করার কারণ আমাদের কাছে যা আছে আমরা এই যে ডিপ লার্নিং এর সব অ্যালগরিদম করছে শুরু হচ্ছে রিসার্চ দেখানোর জন্য রিসার্চ করছে এগুলো কোনো রিসার্চই না ঠিক আছে এগুলো হচ্ছে শুধু কি বলবো পেপার পাবলিশ করতে হবে পাবলিশ না করলে একদম পাবলিশ না করলে সে স্টুডেন্ট পিএইচডি পাবে না আমি প্রমোশন পাবো না ঠিক আছে ব্যাস আবার অন ক্যামেরা আমি বলছি কথা এগুলো কিন্তু Okay, so these are some summary. Probably this is helpful for you.
Sir,
This is the summary. This that blockchain federated learning platform. So these are probably helpful for you. If you are interested in blockchain and internet learning, helpful for you. So Ethereum is the public blockchain. That Hyperledger Fabric is okay. These are the challenges of using blockchain. These are the many attacks are there. This is a problem. When you develop something, the next day some attacker is there and they will attack and break the system. So these are the attacks, that smart contract based attack, then system based transactions, all the attacks. So I'm not going to explain all the attacks. Even some attack I don't know. Okay, but I have taken this from one of the research paper. Then last is Internet of Everything and edge computing. These two are important for IoT. Internet of Everything is Everything is the extended version of Internet of Things. And Internet of Things and cloud platform, they basically provide many applications. But again, there is the problem of using third-party software. So that's the reason they will use that edge computing concept. Say that IoT term here, that IoT definition of IoT. I'm not going to discuss this part because I have already discussed this thing. Some applications of IoT. In this application, the initial IoT applications are in this way. That means all the IoT applications and the third-party cloud that basically used for analytics and all. But there is a problem because when you use third-party cloud, so for example, if I use a smartwatch, Apple smartwatch, then my all data will be basically captured by Apple Cloud, right? So means my all the information Apple will have. Though people say that Apple provides high security, but Apple itself has that data, and Apple using that data, Apple perform anything. Apple use in their research, and they no need to take the permission from user and anything. Obviously, they have certain privacy preserving certain policies, but they use those data without informing us in their research. Not only Apple, Google also do the same thing. Okay, because when we basically enter into the system, we basically click terms and conditions. We never read the terms and conditions, right? Because there are many things. We will read those terms and conditions. We simply click and enter into the system. So in the terms and conditions, it is also written that they can use their data, but for not business. But they are not using those data direct business, indirect business. Because from those data, they basically again generate some pattern and apply somewhere. So this is a big problem. So after that, people started using that edge computing. Edge computing means some edge devices will be there. This edge device will filter the data, that which data will be uploaded in the third-party cloud, which will not. But when edge computing concept was used in IoT computing, then obviously you have to upload that data through public internet. Internet is public, so as internet is public, so obviously malicious users are there. So again the problem. Okay. So as the malicious users are there are many attacks like DDoS attack, malware attack, many attacks. But here I will discuss only malware attack. If time permits, then I will only discuss malware attack. So even our Android devices are not safe. In our Android device, there are many malwares. I received one fund from METI to prevent those attacks, malware attack only. So we are trying to make a setup for malware for generating our own malware, and then we will test it. There is a good book for malware. Those who are interested in malware data science. It's available in. It is freely available. You can download it, but its Amazon price is probably 2,200. But it is a good book, malware data science. So what is malware? There are many formal definitions. I am not going to discuss this part. Okay, that especially not on they define this definition of malware. Malware is basically malicious software. In one term, that malicious software that are basically harmful. Okay, now malware basically means attack on confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Malware. This is the evolution of IoT malware because we are in the our topic is Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, 5.0. So obviously this is one of the important topic. Those who wants to work on this Industry 4.0 and 5.0, one of the subfield is malware attack. Malware, IoT malware, and I will show you is how that malware can be detected with one example, simple example. But that is not too simple. So these are the malware features. What is the কতক্ষণ আছে?
As long as you,
আমি হাঁপিয়ে গেছি।
I will generally I leave this place around at 7 and 7 madam they stay here till 6. Trolley yours. We মোটামুটি 12:30 অবধি করে দিতে পারবো।
12:30 তো ঠিক আছে।
ওই তার মধ্যে we possibly will discuss on research paper also in that. We have shared all ready the paper in them. Just give 15-20 minutes for that. Last 15-20 minutes.
I will discuss here.
ঠিক আছে।
Not discuss that part separately.
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
Malware detection in IoT system. This is IoT system means obviously that mobile is also a part of IoT device. Okay. But when we implement in some IoT system, if we want to build a IoT system in our laboratory, we generally use ARM processor. We have some ARM keys and obviously some Raspberry Pi and Intel Galileo we have also used to develop this system. So here some ELF file is in normal Intel device, that is basically exe file. Here ELF files. That ELF file, they are basically using ELF parser. We can extract the output, and from that output we can basically feed that output data to the machine learning and machine learning model, and machine learning model can generate some pattern and detect the malware. Say Android malware analysis. This is the big problem. Though this is the old data, I have taken that old data from this internet. So this is old data. This data is up to 2020. I have taken this in 2023. I do not have that updated. But from here you can see that there are many malwares for Android. Now for Android data, many researchers are working on Android malware detection, and many data sets are available in Kaggle. You can work on those data sets. Okay, so here that means again there are many steps. I'm not going to explain this part. That how that APK Android package kit are download and all, you can easily use this thing. Reverse engineering is another process. Now, deep learning based malware detection. That part I'll explain now. Using attention method. Deep learning based method means obviously deep learning means we think that generally use images. So some malware images are there, some normal images that is known as good images that are there. So after that, using this step, we can classify whether that images are malware or good type. If that images is malware, then we have to take measure. Recently, one of my PhD student he awarded. So this is his work. He worked on this part. First, that means whatever the file. So that file is converted into binary code. From that binary code, that 8-bit vectors are generated, and from that 8-bit is grayscale value is generated. From that grayscale value, we can generate the image, and then we label that image malware and goodware. Here we have taken Microsoft data. Microsoft data set is available for malware images. That was in one competition in 2016. One competition, Microsoft published that data set. So through that data set, not the whole data set, because whole data set size was used. So partially data set, we experiment this thing, and then for testing purpose we convert some file. Obviously we didn't have some malware file, because it is very difficult to convert malware file, because if we load that malware file in our system, then our system in entire network will be damaged. So we test whether with some arbitrary thing, and then we test it, and if I put malware to image selection, malware file, then we convert it into binary code in this way. Okay.
এটা করার সুবিধা কি?
হ্যাঁ, এটার অ্যাপ্লিকেশনটা হচ্ছে আমরা তাহলে যদি মানে ইমেজ প্রসেসিং করে আমরা ইজিলি সেটাকে মানে ডিপ নিউরাল নেটওয়ার্ক গুলো ইউজ করে আমরা সেখান থেকে মানে টেস্ট করতে পারি যে ম্যালওয়্যার ফাইল না এটা মানে কোন একটা ফাইল, সে ফাইলটা ম্যালওয়্যার ফাইল না সেটা নরমাল ফাইল, সেটা টেস্ট করার জন্য আমরা এটা করছি। যদি আমরা ম্যালওয়্যার ফাইল নিয়ে কাজ করতে পারি, এখানে একটা প্রবলেম, আমরা একটা পাবলিকলি অ্যাভেলেবল ডেটা সেট নিয়ে কাজ করছি। সেখানে হচ্ছে আমরা মাইক্রোসফট আপলোড করেছি একটা কম্পিটিশনের জন্য ট্যাগে, তো সেই ডেটা সেট নিয়ে কাজ করছি। তারপর আমরা টেস্ট করেছি একটা ইমেজকে নিয়ে, নরমাল ইমেজকে নিয়ে, নরমাল ফাইলকে নিয়ে, যে সেটা ম্যালওয়্যার না গুডওয়্যার সেটা দেখাচ্ছিল, তাতে সবকটাই ভালো দেখাচ্ছিল। আমরা তারপরে কিছু এক্সট্রা জিনিস ওর মধ্যে অ্যাড করেছিলাম, কিছু ফাইলটাকে কিছু চেঞ্জ করেছিলাম, তাতে ওই 50% মতন অ্যাকুরেসি ওটা ভালো আছে। তারপর টাইম হয়ে গেল 5 বছর পরে ও ছেড়ে দিতে বললো, সাবমিট করে দিয়েছে।
ম্যালওয়্যার ফাইলটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি কি ফাইল?
নরমাল ফাইল, এটা ডিপেন্ড করছে না, এটা ডিপেন্ড করছে তিনটে সিস্টেম। ওয়ান ইজ অ্যান্ড্রয়েড, অ্যান্ড্রয়েড মিন্স এপিকে ফরম্যাটে থাকবে। ওয়ান ইজ ELF ফরম্যাটে থাকবে, ELF ফরম্যাট মিন্স দ্যাট ARM প্রসেসর বা রাসবেরি পাই তাদের ফরম্যাটে থাকবে। আরেকটা হচ্ছে আমাদের মাইক্রোসফটের যে এগুলো আছে .exe ফাইল, তুমি .exe ফাইলকে কনভার্ট করো তাহলে কি আসবে, এরকমই আসবে। বেসিক 8085 মাইক্রোপ্রসেসর যারা আমরা যারা পড়েছি, 8085 মাইক্রোপ্রসেসর মানে কি চপ কোড থাকে, চপ কোডগুলোর ভ্যালু থাকে, ওরকম ভাবে এগুলোকে কনভার্ট করা যায়। এর টুল আছে, প্রচুর টুল अवेलेबल আছে, there are many tools available, so using those tools you can convert a file into image।
কেন ইমেজে কনভার্ট করার
ইমেজে কনভার্ট করার কারণ হচ্ছে ইমেজ দিয়ে আমরা ডিপ লার্নিং, ডিপ নিউরাল নেটওয়ার্ক গুলো ইউজ করছি।
না, আমি তো ডিপ লার্নিং ইউজ করব বলে ওটাকে ইমেজে কনভার্ট
না, তাতে আমার অ্যাকুরেসি ভালো দিচ্ছে, অবশ্যই আমি সেটাই তো বললাম, আমার অ্যাকুরেসি ভালো দিচ্ছে।
ডিপ লার্নিং তো আপনি নাম্বারস হলেই হবে, মানে ইমেজে কেন?
না, ডিপ নিউরাল নেটওয়ার্ক যে প্রিটেন যে নিউরাল নেটওয়ার্ক গুলো, CNN যে মডেলগুলো ছিল, হ্যাঁ তোমার রাসনেট 50, এফিশিয়েন্ট নেট, মোবাইল নেট, এগুলো সব ইমেজ নেয়, ঠিক আছে? তো আমি সেই
CNN টেক্সট না,
হ্যাঁ
CNN স্ট্রিং হলে
না, সেটা আলাদা, সেটা 1D CNN তুমি এটা বলছো।
হ্যাঁ সেটাই,
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, টেক্সট দিয়ে করা হয়েছিল, এটাকে এভাবে রুট করা হয়েছিল, বাট টেস্টের পারফরম্যান্সের থেকে এটা পারফরম্যান্স বেটার। আমরা ন্যাচারাল প্রসেসিং যখন করি তখন আমরা টেস্ট দিই,
হ্যাঁ
1D CNN যেগুলো আছে আমরা 1D CNN দিই তখন, কিন্তু প্রিটেন মডেল।
আচ্ছা, এটা একটা প্রশ্ন। দ্বিতীয় প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে ওই আগের স্লাইডটায় একটা 10-12 বিটের একটা কিছু স্ট্রিং ছিল যেটাকে ওই 8 বিট করা হয়েছে, এটা এইখানটায় কোন
8 বিট করা হয়েছে মানে হচ্ছে আমার কাছে যা বিট আছে সেগুলোকে ভেঙে ভেঙে আমি 8 বিট
আমি ঠিক করলাম কি করে কোনটাকে রাখবো কোনটাকে বাদ দেব?
সবকটাকে বিট স্ট্রিম আছে, সেখান থেকে 8 বিট গ্রুপ করে 8 বিট ফার্স্ট পিক্সেল, হ্যাঁ বাইট ফরম্যাটে 8 বিট ফার্স্ট পিক্সেল, নেক্সট 8 বিট সেকেন্ড পিক্সেল, নেক্সট 8 বিট থার্ড পিক্সেল, এইভাবে
ইমেজে
তুমি ইমেজ গ্রেস্কেল ইমেজে কনভার্ট করছো 0 থেকে 255।
হ্যাঁ আমি সেটা জানি, আমি জাস্ট আমার কাছে কনফিউজিং ছিল যে আমি ভেবেছি ওই নাম্বার স্ট্রিংটা
না, এটা just একটা এক্সাম্পল, ঠিক আছে? আমি এখানে যদি শুধু ম্যালওয়্যারটা নিয়ে বলতাম তাহলে ভালো হতো, কিন্তু টপিক ছিল অন্য, সেজন্য আমি বলি।
এটাই তো ইন্টারেস্টিং জিনিসটাকে
কিন্তু আমার টপিক এটা ছিল না, আপনি আবার আমার এই শ্মশানের গৌরবচনা
একটা
করছেন।
ভেবে আপনি রেখেছেন,
হ্যাঁ?
কিছু তো ভেবে একটা রেখেছেন আপনি,
কোনটা?
আরবিট্রারি তো এটাকে অ্যাড করেন
না, এটাকে অ্যাড করেছি ওই যে সাইবার সিকিউরিটি পার্ট।
দ্যাট ইজ দ্য পয়েন্ট, সেটাই
ঠিক আছে, সেই জন্য আমি বেসিক্যালি হাইলাইট করতে চাইছি হোয়াট আর দ্য ডিফারেন্ট রিসার্চ এরিয়াস। বাট সেটা আমি যদি আমার কোর রিসার্চ বলি, সেখানে এত ম্যাথমেটিক্স থাকবে যে লোকজন ঘুমোবে, তাতে হয়তো ঘুমোচ্ছে। আচ্ছা, this is a structure of CNN. I'm not going to discuss this part, structure of CNN. Malanalysis with attention mechanism. Actually, my intention is to show you attention mechanism. This is one of the, with those who are using image processing, you know na, that attention mechanism. Because attention mechanism, along with deep learning, if you use attention mechanism, your result will be excellent. What is attention mechanism? The attention mechanism is simple. I'm not discussing that mathematical part, how that attention mechanism works, how attention layer works. She knows. If you want to know, then she has used attention mechanism. The attention mechanism means, suppose here that stop image is there. So only we want to extract this part, this object, or this stop means what? Okay, so this part only we want to pay attention this part. Then some mathematics is there, which when you apply with deep learning model, then they particularly extract this part. There is some mathematics. I'm not going to discuss that particular details. But if you want to continue your research in deep learning on image, even medical image, for medical image, this is this will perform well from traditional part.
ROI detection. ROI detection.
ROI detection, particularly. Okay, so for brain tumor detection, the tumor part can be highlighted using this attention layer. This is the formula of attention mechanism. This is along with that deep learning, deep neural network, attention layer can be introduced. So this is one of our work. How that works actually is one of my PhD works. His name is Dr. Shubir Paja. Shubir's work. Okay. So how that malware can be detected? Suppose this is a sample. This can be malware a normal file. It is converted into image. Okay, and that image will be completely noise-like. Even for normal file also, if you convert it into an image, that image will look like that. Okay, so when we apply to it in CNN with attention mechanism, means easily its accuracy is around 100%, 97% to 98%. Now, suppose some image is detected for testing purpose. Suppose I want to test one file, that your question, I am going to answer your question. Suppose I have a file. Okay, I want to know whether this file is malware or not. Then how I will do that? I will take that. I will test that image. So if it is malware, then it will be detected. So after that, here explainable AI can be also used, because my future work was explainable AI. So after that, we can extract that features. If I identify that this image is a malware image, then we again convert this image into file, and then we check what are the pattern. Clear? So this is one of the work that should be basically published in one of the research paper. But the work is why he asked that question, why we convert it into image. The convert it into image means it is easier process. Because the normal file, when that normal file will work, there are some problem. But in attention mechanism, we will particularly identify, just like stop, we will particularly identify that stop. The stop word. Suppose the stop word basically indicates this particular portion. The whole file is not malware. Some particular part is malware. So through attention mechanism, we can identify that particular part. Okay. So this is the reason why we generally use that image processing.
One thing
To use that attention mechanism.
if you go back to the previous experiment, yeah, No, previous actually. Not that actually. The one, this one, yeah. Here, when we are focusing on any, I mean the attention based network what is there is focused on a particular thing that we want to focus. So now, when I am generating that image, that is very much discrete, just like a QR code kind of thing. And it will always generate that kind of thing. So it is, there is no particular object with which I will convert.
No. The entire image means that obviously when this image is a stop image. Stop image means some correlations are there in between in between the pixels. Correlations are there. That correlation basically defines this is the part, this is this object, this is that object, this is say a boat, this is stop, right?
That is correlated because it is.
I am coming to that. But for an arbitrary case, it will be like noise. Like if you encrypt that image and that malware image will be same or goodware image will be same because this is noise like here also.
Malware, they are not correlated data.
That's what I am saying.
Itself, natural image, they are correlated data.
Exactly. So traditional algorithms.
My question is there. Then how attention recognition is working good there?
Let me finish. The traditional images, for traditional images, the normal deep learning algorithms are working properly, means with good accuracy. But we have observed when we apply traditional algorithms, their performance is not good. Because the images are noise-like, the correlation is not there, so you can't extract proper. Then we apply that attention. Attention means it basically, malware means this is a file, in that file it looks like normal file, right? But in that normal file, some codes are written in such a way, it creates, means during execution, basically it creates so many things, means that your system will be hang and all, because the process will run all the time. Whenever you execute some other file, it will also be executed. But the entire file is not like that. Only some part of the code. That's the reason that file is saved. So our basic intention is to extract that part of the code so that we can apply that thing. So who will extract that? Normal image processing cannot do that because the correlation that you told, the correlation is not there. Obviously, it is a noise-like image. How correlation will be possible? Right? So that attention mechanism, it basically highlights this.
Also another question, what kind of filters are you using to extract the feature? I mean, in CNN you need to use some filters which are there.
Here I have used our customized CNN model 3x3 along with that all the pre-trained model, and we have seen that the pre-trained model with attention works fine, but the customized CNN 3x3 filter that was not working properly. Okay, so that RASNet 50 you can check the architecture of RASNet 50. Okay, now we conclude the whole thing. The architecture of Industry 5.0 in advanced manufacturing. So in advanced manufacturing means here I want to give you the introduction of digital twin. Digital twin actually civil engineers, is there any civil engineering students or mechanical? So digital twin is means excellent research area for your thesis, because digital twin means a virtual model. Twin is here two things. Twin is two. One is virtual, another is physical, actual, virtual and actual. So one virtual model will be built fast, and that virtual model will detect the changes in real time. That virtual model of that physical model will be used to detect if any changes or the physical model means works properly or not in real time. Clear? Suppose my actual workshop in some 500 kilometers far. I am here, my digital model is here, but I can easily check whether it performs properly through means obviously real time, because if it is not real time, then it will be augmented reality and virtual reality, that I am also coming to. So digital twin means this is the virtual representation of the actual. Clear? And in this case, the virtual model and actual model, they are connected through 5G or 6G network. Obviously, this 5G and 6G network are very, very helpful. Clear? So this is the in manufacturing sector, even in smart city, jet engine, all these cases that digital twin is used. Through digital twin, they can easily check everything, because how large model, that large machines are working properly or not, that can be easily detected through digital twin. I told you at the beginning that the difference between industry 4.0 and 5.0 is that in 5.0 the human machine interaction is more than 4.0. So here through digital twin, the human can interact with machine properly in real time. This is another technology roadmap, that here blockchain, quantum computing, computer vision, all this technology. With all this technology, we basically developed some XR technology. XR means that virtual reality or augmented reality. Okay. Virtual reality and augmented reality. Just let me explain this thing. Virtual reality and augmented reality means, suppose you want to buy some card. So you go to a mall. In that mall, we generally use trial room and we basically check it's properly fit or not. Right? But there is a problem. What is the problem? Problem is that card is used by many people, and other security issues are also there. Means hidden cam and all. Virtual reality means here you will, means one means glass will be given to you. Okay, and through that glass, with the proper code, you can check how, if you wear that dress, how you will look.
I have a question. What about the material quality?
Material quality, you can touch it.
So you have to
But
touch the
obviously, you are checking that sample is there. Sample is there. Right? But with that sample, you can easily check it.
Yes.
After that, instead of going to the trial room, you can trial using virtual reality.
I know that. But my question is, if I am not wearing that material, how can I feel? Touching that material cannot feel you.
For every system, there is a problem.
Yeah, that's.
For every system. And
So we can use
listen,
virtual
human can this robotics and all these things can solve so many problems.
So haptic gloves, I think so.
Huh?
The sir told haptic gloves. So through that gloves, you can touch anything and feel the reality.
No, yes.
Sensors.
Actually, sensors.
Sensors.
Human have how many sensors? Can you answer?
Five.
Exactly.
5 cents.
Already we have identified some. Means already we have developed some. Now people are wondering. I have seen in one conference that one of the I forget his name. He is from electrical engineering department, IIT Mumbai. So they developed artificial nose. Artificial nose.
No, that we have
Nose
seen.
for smelling. Artificial nose for sniffer dog. E-nose. Electronic nose. So he started his research journey. Means he told this story. He started his research journey from 2009. So first they developed an e-nose using physics method, physical method, and that changing that electrical power and all these things. So means in laboratory their accuracy was 99.99%. In real field, that accuracy also was 90%. But when they installed it in the airport, because that was basically developed for airport, because sometimes sniffer dog, many people are not comfortable with sniffer dog. So,
Security purpose.
security purpose, So whether some explosives are there or not, they have tested. Their main purpose was that. So when it was installed in the airport, then its accuracy was 60%. Means a non-explosive bag also identified by that. Why? Because that was the laboratory. Then they, in 2015, he told that story that their entire project failed. And obviously government provided that money, so there was any problem. Then again he asked for money, but government was not ready to provide any money. But somehow he managed, then he tried chemical method. So he used a, first he used chemical method, then he used physical method. So he told a very interesting statement that physics, chemistry may fail. So I don't know whether he is a chemistry person or not. I am not telling this, I am quoting his statement. So chemistry may fail, but physics never fails. So he quote this,
No, it's
so then now they are basically that he knows accuracy is 83% in airport. We don't know that is already installed, but in India many airports, he told that, you know, probably don't know, but in many airports that thing is already installed. So it's basically purpose of sleeper job. So that is for many purpose, right? So someday will obviously come when that touch means you are talking about material. So that problem can be solved. Okay, because we have already solved many things. What? One is eye. Right? That thing we have already solved. It is video call. Already solved. One is that nose part, that's smelling. Taste, obviously, we have to taste. Means someday will come that when suppose your friend is in USA and he is tasted something, some food, some burger, and obviously through video call that problem will be solved. That what he is eating, you can easily see that. But what is the taste? If people are able to solve that part, then everything will be solved. And that is the people are trying to solve using virtual reality and augmented reality. The difference between virtual reality and augmented reality is that in virtual reality we have to use some extra device, but augmented reality no need to use any extra device. Both are basically the simulation of actual thing, physical thing and virtual thing. So through this data feedback, so this is physical world and this is digital world. Physical world and digital world are together works in industry 5.0. So there are some research scope in blockchain, obviously quantum computing, I don't know quantum computing, that virtual reality, augmented reality and digital twin. Now these are some applications of industry 5.0, that intelligent healthcare, that cloud manufacturing and smart education. These are some application areas. And this is the future work that I want to highlight through this, and I will conclude that. That obviously the industry 5.0 potential, we all know that these are the industry 5.0 potential, that in every art is intelligent traffic, that driverless car, for driverless car. So that is one of the application of industry 5.0. That smart fashion that I just mentioned, that smart fashion, that is another application of industry 5.0. So it has huge potential. However, it has many problems, many challenges. These are the challenges. One of the main problem is data security, and obviously it can't provide us the that he mentioned, that touch feelings. Okay, so that is not possible till now. So people are working on it. Privacy preserving is another problem. Privacy preserving. Because when we now also our privacy is not preserved, because what we basically buy through Amazon or Flipkart, that recommendation system is already developed based on our choice. Yes, fine. But when we will do that through virtual reality, because sometimes you also buy some product for gift purpose also, right? Not for all. But when we will use that virtual reality purpose, that means that privacy is all will also be compromised. So that is another problem. So how we'll solve that part, we have to think about it. So privacy preservation is another problem. But future direction again, blockchain, quantum computing, that cognitive edge. Cognitive edge means edge computing with some AI and machine learning tool, artificial intelligence tool. Cognitive edge, and obviously human machine working policies, the code of code. cobot, sorry, not cobot, cobot, collaborative robot. Means human and robot will work together. In industry 4.0, robots are working. So one example, probably you have seen it in airport, that when you go for that web checking, not web checking, normally you want suppose some printed version of the ticket. So you go there and you scan your document and passport and all, they are all detected. Means when this thing is implemented in Kolkata airport recently in 2-3 years. But in 2017 when I went to USA, that time I have seen that this thing has already been implemented in USA in airport. No one was there. Okay, that completely maintained. Means during exit time, that was completely maintained by robot. Okay, so but now means that collaboration with that robot means that robot will not only work, because what happened means sometimes some may not be recognized, may not work properly. So that time human collaboration is needed. How human will collaborate with that robot? Using digital twin. Okay, using digital twin. So industry 5.0 basically means address all these things. Will address all these things. So there is scope in this field. Means photo and all these things. And last I want to tell you one thing, that now obviously generative AI I do not have. Generative AI is the next decade AI. If people work together means that mathematics person, that chemistry person, that physics person, that mechanical person, that computer science person, if all work together, then there is a huge scope to implement such type of thing, and your paper will be published. I have seen that my experience. If I include some author from multidisciplinary sector, then the papers are published. Even one of my paper on explainable AI was rejected recently because the reviewer commented that reviewer comment was that no doctor as a co-author. So if please include one doctor to validate your work. So this is the thing. So in India it is very difficult. That person I told you now that who developed that electric node. So he told that in 2012 when he started his work, that time 23 researchers from different departments, physics, chemistry, mathematics, electrical, but finally now there are only 5 researchers, 5 people, one from chemistry, one from physics, and 2 from computer science, and 1 from electrical. So if all of you work together, then you can publish some more work. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes,
So you are saying about the edge computing. Can you tell us something about the why is due and why is fog and all?
Okay.
I will explain.
The difference between edge and fog, actually cloud sensors, basically the layer is something like this, sensors, a sensor layer, then edge layer, then maybe fog layer or cloud layer. Fog computing and edge computing, the main basic difference is fog computing, the resources are low. Edge computing, resources are low computational power, low storage. But fog, it has means higher means computational power and higher resources. But why edge, why not fog? Because again implementation of fog is expensive. But now people say that no, we will then use only fog. But fog has some advantage. Instead of using cloud, fog has advantage because low latency. If we compare edge, fog and cloud, then cloud has highest latency, low security. Fog has middle latency, moderate security, and edge at it is near. Suppose if I connect, say our mobile phone, it is an edge device. Why edge device? Because it senses so many things. It has touch, it can sense the temperature in real time, right? It can sensor our pressure and all. So these are edge devices. Even Apple Watch, that is an edge device. Okay. So, but it has low computational power, but latency is almost nil. Because if I want to check my pressure, I simply will turn on that sensor and it will show the pressure, immediate pressure. Right? But if you want to fog, suppose I want to, means that computation power is not there, only sensor part is there, and that sensor is connected through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or some other WiMAX or other communication technology. It is connected to some other device. So, for example, that my watch, it doesn't have any computational power. It only detects, sense the things, sensors are installed, and it is sync with my mobile. So that means my mobile, so first data will send to that mobile, then mobile will process, and mobile will return that value and we will sync it. So this is fog. So some latency will be there because that data is sent. But suppose my mobile doesn't have that. Mobile is again connected to some app. So app means that is cloud. Okay, so when we use some app, then it basically some processing. Right? So after the processing, we find that out. So again, latency is too high. At the same time, we are basically uploading our data to third party. So security and privacy is compromised. So these are the basically difference between edge, fog, and cloud. Cloud means huge computational power, accuracy is means highest, but at the same time you have to compromise the delay, latency, and that's it. Fog means moderate, edge means low. But again, edge has low computational power, so accuracy is low. That's smartwatch, that accuracy is not right. I have seen many times that my pressure is not properly measured. Okay. So this is the.
Sir, DU is again, right?
DU, no, in 2018-19, there are so many people are working on DU computing. I have not worked on DU computing, but that time I have seen 1-2 papers. But means after that, I mainly focused on that edge computing. So I do not have much idea about DU, but DU is not, it's not too popular. That's why I have not seen much paper on DU computing. But fog and edge, even one of the good problem that I have one paper on that. But after that, I'm not working presently. Load balancing, secure load balancing. Sorry, load balancing is a good. Means many people are working on load balancing in fog. Fog load balancing means suppose you have many fog. You are basically working on a particular application. You have many fog devices. So means how that fog devices will store those data. This is that means in what way? Suppose fog means again limited storage, right? So some fog device may not have some storage, clear storage available. So you have to data, you have to but you have to upload that data. But which fog devices will be selected? Okay, or will all the fog devices will share their data? Okay, so resource sharing is another problem. So yes, that is possible. So load offloading, that problem is known as load offloading. But when you are connected with one fog, so when your data will be sent to the another fog, so that is again a security issue. So load balancing with proper security is one of the research areas. So if you want to work, this is a good research. Recently, many people are working on that. Load balancing. Okay. Any other questions?
So any more questions from the participants? So you may ask. Even students may ask. You have. So any other questions? Okay. So if there are no questions.
Actually, I tried to highlight some research areas. I don't know how much I'll able to do that. Huh?
Yes.
So I tried because the field was Internet of Things and its application in. So I have to cover all these things. If it is a particular field like federated learning or only IoT security then I can restrict that part. But I have to cover all this because all these things are important for this.
Sir, টুইন যদি আমরা টুইন ওয়ানটা যদি নিই টুইন মানে হচ্ছে কিন্তু সেপারেট মাস
না উই হ্যাঁ অবভিয়াসলি
সেপারেট মানুষের কিন্তু একটু আলাদা চিন্তা আছে
না দুটো সেপারেট মানুষ বাট তাদের কি বলবো অরিজিন সেম মানে সেম অলমোস্ট সেম ডেট অফ বার্থ কখনো কখনো অলমোস্ট সেম দেখতে হয় বাট কিছু এক্সট্রা প্রপার্টি থাকে টুইন মিন্স এখানে ইন্ডিকেট করছে একটা ফিজিক্যাল সিস্টেম this exact digital replica is the other digital model this is not object this is object physical object digital model of exact replica of the physical model so these are identical means physically যখন একটা কাজ করছে তার যে অ্যাক্টিভিটি সেটা পুরোটাই হচ্ছে এই যে ডিজিটাল মডেল সেও কাজ করছে কোনো একটা ফল্ট হলো ফিজিক্যাল মডেল তুমি ডিজিটাল মডেল মানে কি তোমাকে পুরো মেশিন খুলতে হবে পুরো টাইম কনজিউমিং প্রসেস কি হবে তুমি ডিজিটাল মডেল থেকে সেটা কাজ in real time because of the real time so this is called digital
একটা ঘটনা আমার ভীষণ ভাবা সেটা হচ্ছে রিসেন্টলি F16 আর D21 দুটো আলাদা জেনারেশন ফাইটার আছে আর ডগ ফাইটে F16 এর D21 বসিয়ে দিয়েছে এটা রিয়েল ইনসিডেন্ট এই ঘটনা কিভাবে হতে পারে ডিজিটাল টুইন যদি থাকে তাহলে কি আমি ওই
কোনো কিছু কি বারবার আমাদেরকে বলা হচ্ছে যে প্রচুর ফোন আসছে সবকিছু আসছে আপনি আপনার ইউজার আইডি পাসওয়ার্ড শেয়ার করবেন না আপনার পিন নাম্বার শেয়ার করবেন না তারপরে হঠাৎ করে কেউ যদি ফোন করে আপনার এখন ব্লক করে যাবে আপনার টাকা চলে যাবে বেশি হবে আপনি তাড়াতাড়ি বলুন আপনার আধার কার্ড নাম্বার হয় কি হয় না আমরা মানুষের যদি ভুল করতে পারি রিসিভ করতে পারি ঠিক আছে তো কোনো কিছু ওই ওটা হয়েছে যে কোনো প্রবলেম হওয়া মানে একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ আসবে সেই চ্যালেঞ্জ না তো রিসার্চ করা হয়ে সেই চ্যালেঞ্জটাকে অ্যাড্রেস করার জন্য আমার তো কিছু হবে
আমি বলছি ধরুন একটা ওয়েপন ম্যানুফ্যাকচারার সে একটা ওয়েপন একটা দেশকে বিক্রি করবে এবার যখন সেই দেশটা যখন সেই ওয়েপনটা অন্য একটা দেশের কাছে ইউজ করবে সেই ওয়েপনটা চাইছে না যে ম্যানুফ্যাকচারার ছিল সে পড়ে গেছে ইউজ হয় তাহলে কি সে ডিজিটাল টুইন তৈরি করে কি সেটাকে স্টপ করে দেবে ডেটিং অপারেশন কি
না কোশ্চেনটা হচ্ছে এখানে দুটো তার কন্ট্রোলটা কি সেই ম্যানুফ্যাকচারের কাছে আছে যদি ম্যানুফ্যাকচারের কাছে থাকে এবং ম্যানুফ্যাকচারার যদি চায় হ্যাঁ আমি কন্ট্রোল করে দেব কিন্তু চ্যালেঞ্জ থাকে যেমন ইন্ডিয়া ফ্রান্সের কাছে রাফেল সে রাফেলের কন্ট্রোল কে ফ্রান্সের কাছে থাকবে যদি থাকে তাহলে ইন্ডিয়া কিন্তু সিকিউরিটি নিশ্চয়ই থাকবে এখানে দুটো গল্প এক হচ্ছে টেকনোলজি ট্রান্সফার রাফেলের টেকনোলজি ট্রান্সফার হয় পুরো ডিজিটাল ট্রান্সফার হয় তার বাকি কন্ট্রোল ইন্ডিয়া কিন্তু টেকনোলজি ট্রান্সফার করে রাফেল ইন্ডিয়া তো তৈরি করতে কিন্তু যদি এটা এরকম হয় যে রাফেলের কন্ট্রোল ফ্রান্সের কাছে থাকবে ও প্রবলেম সেটা হয় ঠিক আছে যেটা বললে সেটা হচ্ছে হয়তো যে রাফেলের কন্ট্রোল ফ্রান্সের কাছে ওই সব ইন্ডিয়ার যে মানে কি বলবো ইন্ডিয়ার যারা অপারেট অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশনে বসে আছে
So any more questions from the audience? Okay, so if there are no questions, okay, thank you sir for such a wonderful session and very interactive session we had. I'm sure that a very good round of applause for sir. And I'm sure all must be benefited from this lecture. We have seen how nicely sir has initially briefed about the internet evolution from 1G to 5G, followed by illustration of industrial evolution from 1.0 to 5.0. Then sir spoke about various components and key elements of industry 4.0 and 5.0. Then how AI, ML and deep learning are related. Very nicely sir has explained using the diagram. Then the difference between traditional programming and machine learning. Then sir dealt in details about the classification of machine learning, the important application of machine learning, that is user access authentication and behavior authentication. Then sir briefed about the difference between centralized learning versus federated learning. Then sir gave the model of FN IoT architecture, how communication occurs, flowchart and including different phases. then classification of federated learning, then open source framework of federated learning, then sir entered into blockchain and gave definition, features, especially the working of the market trees, then various illustration of working methodology, then sir entered into the taxonomy, that means private public consortium, then sir discussed about the blockchain federated learning, then sir gave very good case study on for smart healthcare, that means sir gave the case study on COVID-19 image classification with blockchain, then sir entered into IoT and its applications, then malware in IoT and edge platform, that means what is the evaluation of IoT malware, then the taxonomy of static based features in IoT malware detection, then deep learning based malware detection system, that is the through image generation, then malware analysis with attention mechanism, then sir gave an overview of CNN based malware detection, and then finally the architecture of Industry 5.0 advanced manufacturing, then sir gave the clear roadmap of the technology roadmap of Industry 5.0 and its applications, its potentials, what are its challenges, then future direction, and then finally sir hinted upon on generative AI, then how sir said that how in different departments, if they come together, we can easily publish paper in generative AI. So thank you very much sir for the wonderful session. I'm sure all of them must be benefited from this. Now, as a token of appreciation from our side, we would like to felicitate you with an appreciation certificate. So, I welcome and call upon Dr. Mosumi Akhtar, HOD of DMLT and DMICC team, along with Mr. Saurav Ghosh, HOD MAG department, to please come up to the dais and facilitate sir with an appreciation certificate. Sir and madam, please. So we have here Mr. Saurav Ghosh and Dr. Mosumi Akhtar. Appreciation certificate to Dr. Amitabh Nag, Professor in HOD CSC Department, CIT Postgraduate. Thank you. Thank you, Saurabh sir, and thank you, Dr. Mosumi madam.
কেউ যদি ইন্টারেস্টেড থাকে পিএইচডি করার আমার ইনস্টিটিউটে করতে পারেন। হ্যাঁ সেটাই বলছি, আমার ওখানে করতে পারেন, আমাদের ওখানে